Hello, everyone. Friday Night Impromptu is back, at least for this Friday night. And we are checking out HOBO'S Hollow. I'm here with Caveman this time around. He decided he wanted to jump in and check out this map too. Big frickin' map, guys. It's been a long time since we've been on a 4X, and it was a little bit of a shocker, I got to admit. It really was. I was like, holy crap, dude, this is huge. But Caveman's here with us. Say hi, Caveman.
Hello.
Hello. And the music's always on at the beginning, Harley. I actually jacked up the starting soon screen. I think I switched over to the game video and didn't realize that's what I had done. But we always transition in the middle of the music, let the music finish playing because that song is so inspirational. I don't know why, but it's still, this is a pretty decent looking map too. It's not bad. So far, I've liked what I've seen. What do you think, Caveman?
Well, yeah, so far I like what I see. Circle C. Circle C Saloon.
Yep. That's the saloon I was telling you about earlier. I said that's where the normal starting farm is right there by Circle C. We've got Mad Mex, Jesse, Patrick, Too Cool, Jonathan, and of course Harley. Harley. Anyway, yeah. So this is HOBO'S Hollow. That's an interesting little turnout right there. Probably a sale point of some kind. And if you're gonna brave this map, bring your big toys, because most of these fields seem pretty darn massive. Now we did jump on. We are on Farm Manager. We started out with 1.5 million. We jumped on, bought some equipment. We bought some land, and we are in the process of starting with a contract because the contracts on this map are
FD.
yeah, very hefty, and they're gonna push us in the right direction. More importantly, we didn't really have the money to buy a harvester, and we need to harvest our own fields before we plow them and get ready to plant them. So we figured let's do a contract, and maybe we can sneak over to our fields and use the equipment on our fields. And we're gonna try that, but we're gonna get this wheat harvested first. And Harley's already saying she didn't care for HOBO'S Hollow. She felt ripped off at the end. Why did you feel ripped off at the end? I'm curious now.
And
Juliana, how you doing? Welcome from South Africa, as I recall. I think I'm right on that. Oh, Juliana had problems on this map too. And you guys are way ahead of me. Well, I have been
hey,
away for work so much that that's not surprising that everybody's ahead of me on this stuff right now. But give us more details? Like, what kind of problems are you having? What kind of issues should we be looking out for? Things of that nature.
yeah. The only issue that I've really had so far is that they didn't take the time to make a custom license plate. I mean, they just used the Elmcreek license plate.
Okay. Oh, Harley, you know I always love to see you in the streams. We have a good rapport, you and I. I thought we did. Just wait and we'll see. Okay, we'll be looking. Oh, so the edges of the map are dangerous. It's kind of what I'm getting. Like, don't get too
So
close to the edge.
what I heard is find the road that runs from one side of the map to the other and just full send and see what happens.
Is that right?
That's what I hear.
Well, hello, KT. I had a good week.
I
I
had a
think,
pretty good one.
yeah, Caveman. Caveman's been modding his heart out. The trees started flickering by December when it's winter.
Oh,
Huh.
delete your shader cache. That's not a this map issue. That's a giant shader cache issue.
This is a big honking field, dude.
Well, does it feel too big or too small to be a 4X?
For right now, at least until I get used to the feel of it, it feels easily like a 4X to me. Oh, they don't have the red X's or anything, so that you don't know when you're coming up on the edge of the map. That's not too cool. Okay.
And that doesn't bother me that much. I mean, they didn't have that in 19 on every map either.
Well, that's fair, but um, they always had dead ends. They didn't have you could fall off the edge of the map issues.
You know, they're probably their collision's probably messed up.
Hey, Kevin. How's it going, Kev? Yeah, we're going to be on this contract for a while. Unless we do something drastic. We might have to do something drastic so we're not doing this for the next 3 hours. What do you think, Caveman?
It's up to you.
Nah, let's punch it up a little bit. Hang on. I want to get my... I don't want to get too crazy. That's better.
What do you got it set for?
12.
Mm.
Yeah, we bit off a lot for a first contract. Hey, Jordan, how's it going, man? Did you see they brought your sugar beet chopping? Yes, I did see that. I saw that today. Caveman and I were talking about that before the stream because he's decided he's going to be the sugar king of Elmcreek.
Yep.
And those are going to help him be the sugar king of Elmcreek. Good to hear it, Kev. Good to hear it, man. Farming Sins. And everybody, I'm sure you know at this point, but if you don't, just as a reminder, and the link is in the video description down below. Farming Sins has, or his wife has, a GoFundMe page set up to help them and their family get through a difficult time. She has cancer and they are fighting that battle. But as everybody, especially in the States, knows, healthcare costs can get extreme. And when you're talking about serious treatments like that, they really can blow up out of proportion in a hurry. So if you're feeling generous, or if you just want to help out and don't have any cash, feel free to share that GoFundMe link anywhere you think it might do some good. But when Sin shows up, well, even when he doesn't, we do try to remind everybody that that is still a thing right now. And
Yes, we do.
Any help you can give is appreciated. Even at this pace, this is going to take a long freaking time. It's a good thing we decided to
Pick it up a notch.
kick it up a notch. At least we've got a decently big harvester for this.
And at least we have a good sized trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unfortunately, we did not buy a Fent. Caveman has a Fent because we borrowed equipment for the contract, but the trailer is ours. We did buy the trailer. Oh, hey, we're 10% complete on this contract already.
I see that.
And we're not even one headland pass around. Have you figured out where that wheat's supposed to be delivered yet?
No. Why?
Oh, Paul Tunks, thank you, man. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a great way for me to end the day, too. I had the day off of work after a very productive and positive week, and get to hang out with you fine folks. It doesn't get much better than that, in my opinion. Now, the problem you start running into this, because this map is not available for consoles either. But the problem you start running into with bigger maps is they do start to tend to feel a little bit bare. What do you think about that, Caveman?
If it's not done well, then yes. I agree with that. But there are some map makers out there that you could give them a 16x map. I mean, they could make a 16x map, and it would feel like you didn't have room to move.
Kaz.
But
Kaz 64. No, he
Yeah.
always keeps his fields wide open and worker friendly, but he does really fill in the blanks very, very well.
yeah, but I'm pretty sure there's a modder out there, especially if they make European maps all the time.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you they could make a 16x map that would give you the feeling like you couldn't move.
Oh, that's the truth. Take one of Oxygen David's maps and blow it up to 16 times. That's probably
That's kind of what I was thinking.
That's probably why he only does 1x maps.
Yeah, because it'd take him an entire game to make a 16x.
Right? He puts so much the thing with his maps, though, I mean, there are some things on European maps that I do find a little bit frustrating. They are very narrow. They do tend to be very tight. But he just has a way of making everything feel very natural and fluid. Like, it's almost like being in a real place on his maps. So, and Alien Jim is kind of the same way. Kaz does a good job with that too on his maps. Lancy Boy is very good at that. And I would honestly like to see Missy B do more maps, because I think her Wither Farms, Wither, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but either way, I think for a first time it was a very, very solid map. And I think with practice she's going to get better and better and better.
I agree with that.
Oh, Millennial Farmers test driving fence in a California ag show. Outstanding.
Nice.
And too cool, I have to ask, what was that Instagram video you posted of your truck? Like, I was like, what the heck is going on here? Somebody's just like talking crap about a UPS truck. I didn't really. I guess I'm an old fart these days. I own it. But I was like, what the heck, man? A Fent with tracks on it? Well, that would either been what, a 900 or an 1100. I know they make a smaller version of the 1100. Well, and yeah, Jonathan, yeah, I thought it was a solid map, and you could really feel the Alien Jim influence. Obviously, when they talk to musicians, they're like, what was your inspiration? And they're like, well, we used to listen to a lot of these guys and that guys, and you could just see that she had either been working with or followed Alien Jim in a lot of ways, and it was good. I mean, first time map. Well, there's not a single map that's ever been made that's not better than one that I've made, because I've never made one. But no, I hope she does a lot more. And I've liked a lot of her mods. She's one of those modders that personally I find inspirational and impressive. She is fairly innovative. She does some reasonably unique things, but at the same time she also cares a lot about the quality of her mods, and that speaks
That she,
volumes.
that she does.
It's like I mean, you guys don't know this because you don't necessarily hear all the background or anything. Some of you spend some time talking in chat and whatnot with Caveman, but um, he puts so much time and effort and is so focused on the quality of his mods. He Caveman, we hang out on stream, we talk about him, and he's probably going, Harv, just shut up. But he does put a ton of effort. There are times when he'll be modding while we're chatting or whatever, and he's talking his way through something, and I'm like, like a big issue. Like, and there's one that I'm thinking of that came up recently, and he's like, oh, I can do this, and 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 boom, Bob's your uncle, problem solved, no problem anymore. And it was literally like 7 minutes. And, to anybody else, this was like a huge deal. And to him, it was like, ha, mod problem, my patootie. Oh, and I'm going to be stopping here for a second, Caveman.
Okay.
Because we were going to switch voice channels, remember?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
So we're going to drop down into our YouTube member pub talk. So if anybody wants to join us and hang out and chat with Caveman and I while we're streaming, YouTube members only, however, feel free to jump in with us on Discord.
Yeah.
Hang out with the homies. And Jonathan actually sent me, I just noticed, Jonathan sent me a message on Discord asking me if everything was okay because the stream didn't start right at 8 o'clock. So, Jonathan, just keep in mind, Friday nights are impromptu, dude. It's something I do just to have a little bit of fun. It's my personal playtime, and I try not to get too stressed over being exact and precise. And Caveman can tell you how much I stress about being exact and precise when it comes to our posted stream days. So
He's just as bad as I am about my mods, if not worse.
yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. I mean, we're on an hour before the stream starts and planning what needs to get done and what we want to do, and I'm like, okay, make sure you do this, and we're gonna get this going. And all right, guys, we're going. We got 7 minutes until the stream starts. Is there anything else? And yeah, As casual as it seems, we do put an awful lot of planning into this stuff sometimes. Lifehawk, how's it going, man? Lifehawk is one of the best non-modders around. I can verify that statement. Oh, I know, Jonathan. I appreciate it, bud. I really do. Just saying, Friday nights are casual, man. This is when I get to play for fun. Hang out with y'all. Although I do have a heck of a commute right now for work. 300 miles each way. I'm glad I'm not doing that every day.
Yeah, right?
I couldn't do it every day. But yeah, Monday morning, get up, jump in the car, 300 miles, work about another 6 hours, call it a day. Work a normal work week from that point on, and then pack up. This week it was on Thursday. Next week it'll be Friday. I will actually be gone for a full 5 days next week. So, well, for fun and banquets, Jonathan. We can't forget the banquets, or maybe that just gets bundled into the fun. It does for me anyway. I'm on my third. I swear, I'm going to try to convince Adolphus Kors to adopt me one of these days. And 300 Miles to Graceland. I never actually watched that movie. I should go back and watch it. Just catch up on it. You would be proud, Lifehawk. We have already instituted, because the fields are so bloody massive, the real speed mod. I might try punching this up to 15 and see how it handles it. It should be okay. Yeah, I think we're going to be alright. That's right, Jonathan. Adult beverages for the win. I always ask people this, especially locals, and the ladies I've been working with, who've been fantastic, by the way. Really great people. Because since I moved to Nevada, like, I haven't spent so much as a nickel on a slot machine. Like, I used to come here with my friends, to go to Vegas. And of course, we'd plan around gambling and drinking. And that's what we wanted to do. And that's what we did for fun. And since I've moved here, like, I don't know if it's just I can go do that anytime I want to or whatever. But I think once you live in Nevada, it's like, gambling, whatever. So I always ask, and everybody's the same, It's like, not really. We don't really go gambling or anything. I was like, I just wondered.
I mean, I'd love to take a trip to Nevada, but not for gambling.
What would you do out here?
There's a couple of hot rod shops out there and a rat rod shop out there I'd like to go visit.
Oh, is that's the one in, is he in Vegas?
Actually,
The
both
Count.
of them are in Vegas.
The Count, right?
Yep, the Count and then Welder Up.
Come on out, dude. I'd meet you in Vegas. We could hang. Go to Gold and Silver Pawn. Meet the Pawn Stars.
Forgot they're in Vegas too, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Vegas barbecue summer of 22. We might be out of lockdown by then. I will try to remember CFL Travis, but I can't keep track of everybody anymore, dude. So, with my apologies, I will try to remember your name is Travis, but I make no promises. Yeah, exactly, Eric. That's exactly right. It's like owning a pool. Once you have a pool, it's not nearly as fun to go swimming. When you can do it anytime you want, whenever you want. Oh, did you see that, Caveman? Jordan's buddy went to see Welder up in Vegas a few years ago.
Oh, nice.
Oh, Jordan's been to Counts Customs too.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
That's really cool.
without a doubt, without a doubt, Mad hit the buffet. Unless it's changed over the past few years, the buffet at the at Caesar's Palace was the best.
Yeah, I hear that's supposed to be really good.
United Bill, how's it going, bud? Are they even there anymore since old man died and the one guy got sent to jail? I don't think it's the same. I don't know if they do the show Pawn Stars anymore, but I can't imagine that they just packed up the business and walked away from it. I'm
And that
sure.
business,
Go ahead.
I'll say that business had to make a lot of money.
Oh, they made it.
And if they didn't make a lot, they sure spent a lot.
They made a metric ton of money. Just from the show alone, those guys got rich. I mean, do you really think Chumley, who ended up with drugs and guns, he was sentenced for drugs and guns or something? You think that guy made all of that money just working part time at a pawn shop? No.
Yeah, not unless he was getting paid commission. Even then, it'd be a far stretch. Looks like none of the members are actually trying to join us tonight.
Yeah, I know. All quiet on the Discord front. I guess we'd be remiss too, and you know, I don't want to go political on this or anything, but I do want to send our thoughts and prayers out to the people of the Ukraine who are having a very difficult time, but my God, are they ever a proud, tough people. And, you know, Harvsworld wishes them the best out of a horrid situation. Well, Martin Salinas, thank you so much, man. Newest member of the Green Machine.
Welcome to the Green Machine.
And what are our levels again? We got the Green Machine. We've got the Blue Crew, the Grateful Red. What did we decide the gold members would be?
I don't remember.
I can't remember either. One of our audience will.
We haven't had to say it but a couple of times, so.
Jonathan, have you linked your YouTube account to your Discord yet? Because you should have access to the YouTube members' channels.
Well, I know he has access to the members server.
Is it level specific? Is voice chat only for higher level members?
I know he has access. He's sitting in server chat right now. He evidently can't see the YouTube members pub talk. That must be a higher level thing
It must be.
or a higher tier thing.
I don't know what tier Jonathan was on, so.
Um, if you want to swap down there so that he can join and more people could join, I can drag you down.
To server chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
The member server chat.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, I'll drag you.
All right. Top 3 things to do in Vegas.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Jonathan. Top 3. Lifehawk's asking what would be the top 3 things to do and must see in Vegas. Well, technically, it's not in Vegas, but if you're in Vegas, you're close enough. I would say you have to go see the Hoover Dam.
Ooh, Hoover Dam, yeah, that's a beautiful place that I'd love to see one day. That and also the Bonanza area where they filmed Bonanza.
That's actually not too far from me. That's Virginia City. Not anywhere close to Vegas. Touristy things to do. I mean, the Strip I would say is touristy, but at the same time, it's really worth a walk down the Strip, and it's a day-long event to go through all of the casinos and see all of the decor. A lot of these casinos have really amazing, spectacular displays, almost like museums. Like at one point, the last time I was there was a huge thing on the Titanic where they actually had brought in a museum display that was set up there. So, as touristy as the Strip can be, it's actually very worthwhile to see. What else in Vegas? I think the stuff that there's a lot going on as far as there's so many TV shows that are centered around Vegas. A lot of it's reality type stuff like Pawn Stars, Count Customs, and who's that restoration guy? There's a restoration guy who runs out of Vegas too.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I cannot think of it.
He's the guy who he actually got his start on Pawn Stars, restoring like Coke machines and pedal toys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I can't think of his name now. Anyway, catching up on a lot of that stuff. I don't know. Honestly, I've probably just done touristy things when I was in Vegas and the Hoover Dam is a bit touristy, but it's not at the same time. It's one of the man-made wonders of the world.
Impressive by looking at his history books, just all the engineering had to go into it.
Oh, absolutely. There's speculation that people are actually buried in the Hoover Dam, but engineers would actually tell you that that's impossible because you can't have that type of void or vacuum in concrete without it collapsing.
Plus, concrete holds a lot of moisture.
Oh, there's my nephew, Mr. Corbin. Word up, Holmes.
Word. What's the difference between YouTube member pub talk and server chat?
Server chat's available to all YouTube members. YouTube member pub talk is available to upper tier members.
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
Finally found it.
Outstanding.
Outstanding.
Wouldn't with that amount of moisture, the bodies would decompose and problems would occur, right?
Yes. Bruce. How's Bruce doing this evening? Accidentally clicked on it. Looks like the voice chat thing works. Oh, good. Good. That's good to know. Hawk Block. So many places you'd love to visit when your husband gets home from Poland. You want to go to Arizona. I actually lived in Phoenix for a couple of years. And Arizona is a pretty spectacular place. Where in Arizona do you specifically want to visit? Because there's a lot to do there. I lived in Phoenix. Was going to school there, the Art Institute of Phoenix, actually. There you go, Jordan. Rick's Restorations. That's what it was that we couldn't remember. Rick.
Hey, Harv.
Hello.
So, finally found the chat. Apparently, you have to update Discord so the new stuff can show.
Oh, okay. So that's the voice of Mad Mexum, everybody, who also has a YouTube channel. He's been doing a Rags to Riches challenge. How's that going for you, man?
The idea is great. Like Caveman's rules are awesome. It's challenging. The biggest challenge is that it's my first series in YouTube, so I'm barely, experimenting on the producing side of the videos. So the audio's issues, trying to fix that as videos pop out, they get better and better quality.
What editor are you using?
I found a free one called Shotcut, I think it's called.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It seems to do the job right. The problem is you gotta know what you're doing. So it's like a little bit of a learning curve.
Yeah, there's a pretty steep learning curve to video editing.
Oh yeah, and there's different learning curves for different softwares.
Yep.
Yeah. No, but it's more like Caveman's been giving me some great
cool.
advice, suggestions.
That's good.
It's nothing technical. It's just more out of an approach.
I think go ahead.
Stuff like that. No, go for it.
I was going to think for the first year and a half or so, which I haven't actually been running much longer than that, but for the first year and 4 months or whatever, I was using a free version of a program called Lightworks for video editing.
Nice.
And the problem that you run into, at least that I ran into, and I think it'd be pretty natural for anybody, was that you do it for so long in one piece of software, it becomes hard to change to another one, because a job that I can do for, in Lightworks in 45 minutes is going to take me 2 hours and 45 minutes in new software.
Right.
So, as weird as it sounds, I could easily make an argument for, and it's not that bad, it's like between 20 and 25 bucks a month to get Premiere Pro. And that's Adobe Premiere, and it's pretty much the creme de la creme of video editing softwares.
Oh yeah, man, that's the big boy. Editing software. Me and Caveman were talking like he's using Photoshop, and I'm over here using GIMP because it's free.
I could not get the hang of GIMP. I did use that for a while too, and I was like, okay, screw this. I'm gonna get Photoshop.
Yeah, I couldn't get a hold of GIMP either.
I think they're all the same. I think it's just learning. Like, they all use layers, they all use this. It's just learning where stuff is.
Right.
And then the other ones make it easier. Like, Photoshop does a bunch of stuff for you, where GIMP maybe doesn't. Like, it's more manual, stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's also the automate feature in Photoshop.
Oh, yeah. Now, you're showing me those, what is it? The smart textures, or what is it?
Oh, that wasn't Photoshop. That was Substance Painter 3D.
Oh, that one is insane. With some smart painters and all sorts of cool stuff.
Now, Blender has me totally lost for making 3D models. Every year they come out with a new version and change the layout.
Let's see, Blender screws me up too, because I just said I went to art school in Phoenix. Well, I was going for a degree in 3D animation, and we were learning 3D Studio Max. And if you wanted me to model something for you in 3D Studio Max, even with the 20 years of changes that has taken place, I'm sure I could still manage it, but Blender, I'm just completely lost. Like, clueless.
Man, that's an old school program. I played with that too, back in the day.
Oh,
Got one of those
3ds
burn
Max?
CDs. Yeah, 3ds Max.
They used to, I mean, and, you know, that was when I was going to school, that was about a $20,000 piece of software.
Oh yeah.
Go get the GIMP. Mad Maxim or Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lifehawk. Thank you. Grew up in family heavily forested areas, and the desert seems alien to me. I don't, or fairly heavily forested areas. I don't disagree, Hawk. The desert is one of the. It's weird. Like, I didn't get it when I first moved to Nevada, and I lived in Idaho, where it's not quite as harsh desert, but it was still the high desert. But down here, I mean, it is harsh desert, and it's different. It's really different. And I was saying to somebody not that long ago, you know, when you first come here, all you see is like this brown and stark landscape, and then the more time you spend looking at it, it really causes you to focus on the little things that where you can find the beauty in the landscape, because it is very harsh, it is very stark, but if you look, you can really start to see and pick out those places that are like, wow, that's pretty magnificent, or, you know, that's a great sunset, or, you know, just different crap like that.
Yeah, I went to Phoenix as well. When was it? In December, and we're probably going to go again this summer, because my wife is going to, she's doing her doctorate with Grand Canyon University, which is there in Phoenix.
Oh wow, very nice.
But one of the things that I noticed is that the dirt is like red, like the ground. It's weird.
That's
Red.
not as bad as the southeast. The southeast has really, really red soil.
Around here, we have what they call red clay mud. When it gets wet, it ain't got a bottom. But then,
Not like
then
fun.
you let it bake in the sun for a day or two, it's hard as a rock.
I need a chaser bin. I'm full already.
I know. I literally ran straight there and come straight back.
I know this is maybe you should have just doubled the size on that trailer. Yeah, and what Bruce is talking about around, didn't you say Flagstaff, Bruce? I mean, that's vastly different. That's more mountainous, and not the desert anymore. Once you get up to Flagstaff, you're talking Rocky Mountain fever there. Good stuff. It is a beautiful place. That's one of the nice things about places like Arizona. Idaho was like this too. You know, you drive a couple of hours and you lift up out of the desert up into the mountains, and it's like you're in a completely different place.
If I ever get up to Minnesota, I want to go back up to Duluth and visit up there, because especially in the winter time, they got those high hills right off the lake, and if it just snowed there, it's beautiful up there.
Oh yeah. I am not a cold weather person at all, so Minnesota does not seem like a prime travel destination to me, I have to be honest. Or Canada for that matter. Sorry Canadians. I know we have a lot of Canadian followers, but man, when it's cold, I just want to bundle up and stay inside, read a good book or farm.
Grew up in southern Minnesota, a few miles away from where they filmed Grumpy Old Men.
I love that movie. If you were truly from Minnesota, though, you would say Minnesota. You gotta have
Well,
that
I
accent.
have been out for about 20 years, so I've lost a little bit of my accent.
There you go.
But if you get me extra tired or get me drunk, then it kicks in.
If you find yourself in the Manhattan area, the Kanza Prairie is a good place to visit with hiking trails. Now, I assume that's Manhattan, Kansas, not Manhattan Island in New York. I don't imagine hiking trails in New York City.
I can't say I could imagine them either.
You'd probably have to go over to Jersey for them.
Woke up this morning, got yourself a gun. Sorry, New Jersey makes me think of The Sopranos. And that show's been off for so long, nobody even knows what I'm talking about anymore. I'm gonna drive straight through this caveman.
I seen a ad from the one of the guys from The Soprano. He always has a cigar. He was like the Godfather, whatever kind of.
Yeah, he's dead.
He was doing a ad for, I want to. It was a car insurance commercial that popped on. I don't know how recent it was, but I seen him recently. Well, I seen the ad of him.
The main character, Tony Soprano, that you're talking about, the actor, died a few years ago, maybe 5 or 6 years ago.
Oh wow!
And I'm really sad to say that I can't remember his name. I told Caveman earlier, I'm like, I'm having the worst time lately with remembering names. Like, just little stupid words slip out of my head, and I'm especially bad with names these days.
For me, names is every day.
Lifehawk will come back and tell me what his name was. Lifehawk is the king of pop culture. Yeah. Movie and TV trivia, pop culture, Lifehawk is on it like a car bonnet, man. I thought I was a movie geek and knew a lot of stuff about movies until I met Lifehawk, and then I was like, I'm just going to shut up. And nice on a Friday night that the stream is running clean as a whistle, unlike last Sunday at a very rough start. That's right, James Gandolfini. I told you Lifehawk would come back with the name. James Gandolfini was that actor. But
Lifehawk needs his own Google. Like, don't Google it. Lifehawk it.
Lifehawk it. There you go.
There you go.
They did just put out the movie The Many Saints of Newark, which was like a prequel to The Sopranos. And James Gandolfini's real life son played him as a young man before he became the mob boss that he ended up being. It was okay. I was kind of meh. It was alright. 07, what? 07, are you serious? 07? Oh, 2013. That's a little better, but still, that seems like longer ago than I thought it was. Caveman, this field is way too big for $100,000.
It wouldn't be as bad if we had a Durus header.
That's true. Which one day we will have. Well, on our Elm Creek map, we do have, and there isn't a field anywhere close to this big on it.
This is like when we started with the little baby Kloss on there.
Mm-hmm. Baby Kloss. The
Hey,
baby
Sharko.
Kloss.
Hey, Sharko.
Sharko? Sharko's alive?
He's
Really?
here.
Apparently.
Holy shnikes, Batman.
You know, I almost don't believe it's Sharko. I almost want him to hop into Discord to prove it's really him.
I think it's his sister. Hi, Sharko's sister, pretending to be Sharko. Just so that we know that so that we believe Sharko's not really avoiding us. On the plus side, we haven't had any vehicles drowned in quite some time. That's what I need to do. I need to make a disclaimer, for the end of all of my streams that say, no vehicles were drowned in the making of this video. Oh, come on, that was a little funny.
That was funny. You should put a counter every time you run over a deer or they jump in front of your car.
There you go.
Roadkill. 1.
That's a great
Sure.
idea, actually.
Sharko rollover. 2.
Harv gets clocked by a train. 75.
What map were you playing the other day? I think it was at I always
Elmcreek.
mess up the name. It's like the No Man's Land, the new version of No Man's Land.
Not me. Or-
Yeah, I think it was one of the impromptus where you were just driving down the road to get to the store and like 4 cars hit you.
Oh, yeah. That Calm Lands.
Yeah, Calmlands.
Yeah.
Those are vicious drivers.
They really are.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, they are kind of aggressive.
FS22 traffic is far more unforgiving than FS19 traffic was, that's for sure.
It's like they put the ray tracing length like 2 pixels. They only stop if they already hit you.
Well, just getting over here from the shop, I turned out of the shop, and the thing is, like, they don't even stop to give you room. Like, a normal driver in the real world would stop and, like, oh, that vehicle's going to take a lot of space to turn. I better stop farther away. Not these guys. They're, like, right up your frickin' tailpipe, man. Well, okay, fine. I've got a tractor. I really don't care if I drive over the top of you, so let's go. Let's do this, homie.
Let's do it. Play chicken.
That's
I'm pretty sure a tractor will climb most cars.
Okay.
Pretty easy.
Caveman, I know what your next sign has, or your next, when you learn to do placeables, ASAP, Hawk Block has got the perfect thing.
Who?
Hawk Block in chat. She says, because I was talking about a disclaimer at the end of my streams, but I think we just need a sign, like almost like a mail pouch tobacco sign to put on the side of the barn. It says, we have gone X amount of days without a Sharko-related vehicular incident. That is so perfect. Yes.
Oh, I so do miss that sign pack from 19. I hope that gets imported over soon.
You talking about the one where you could make your own labels?
Yes.
Yeah, that would be cool.
The
Yeah?
one that I used to make Typo Savoy.
That pack, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the round one with the light, usually put at the entrance to the farm area.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I got about new stuff. I don't know if you guys already talked about it. I just saw it a couple days ago. That they're putting precision farming part of the game.
Yes.
I feel that we were just talking about it recently, Caveman.
Yeah, I saw that. I
Yeah,
remember that.
They have announced that precision farming is coming. Of course, they announced that before the game was ever released. But it's official for FS22, and it doesn't really look like much has changed.
That's good. I
Well,
was
from
like,
what I get, a lot of the mods that people were making to kind of combat the redundancy and stupidity of soil sampling as much, they've added some of that to the base game, or to the base DLC now.
Well, and they did say that you could buy, and if you don't want a soil sample, you could buy soil maps from like the local conservation agency or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That's one of the mods.
Good,
There
because
was a
soil
mod for
sampling is
that.
stupid.
There's also mods for field scanners, which now there's going to be one in the DLC when it ships.
Good.
I don't know if like I wanted to get into it, but I don't know if it was the map that I was playing on that it didn't work well because like it had issues with other mods and when you combine them. So I never got it to work properly. Like I like the concept of the added difficulty, but no, I never could make it work.
The thing
Added
is,
difficulty.
it actually
made
makes it
easier.
simpler. Yeah.
Oh, well then maybe it was the issues I was having because like I was trying to, I was trying to get a field ready and part of it needed lime, or let me just put it like this: part of it the acidity was too high and the other part it was too low, and I couldn't figure out what needed what.
Oh, you're overthinking it because what happens is you have smart spreaders and smart seeders. And so
Right.
you just spread the whole thing with fertilizer and it puts the appropriate amount where it's needed.
Right, that's that's what I'm saying. I was trying to do that because that's what I was, I watched some videos on it and stuff, and it wasn't doing it. So I was thinking that maybe it was a conflict with other mods. So I just, we just uninstalled it because we couldn't
Okay.
do anything with it.
It did conflict with the mod that allowed you to adjust the spray rate.
Oh, adjustable
And
spray
in
rate?
some,
Yeah.
yeah, and in some maps, I think it also messed with the seasons mod in 19.
Well, if the modder had not specifically revamped their map for precision farming, then it wouldn't work with precision farming because they had to have a soil map included.
Right. And anything with custom crops, if they didn't have it adjusted, then it was broken as well.
Right.
That's probably it. Trying to use it in a place that it was unusable.
It's kind of like, and I still see this posted from time to time, the Urshaba factory mods for 19, where it specifically says in the mod description, this can only be used on maps that were designed for this particular mod pack. And if you put these factories on a map that wasn't designed for them, you couldn't access your animal pens because it was utilizing the mechanics of animal pens to create factories.
Oh yeah, I played on some maps where it used that. The factories were under the animals
Yeah.
menu.
Yeah.
And so people would just say, "Oh, factories! I want to make soy milk and whatever else was going on," and they didn't read the full mod description. And this question just gets posted over and over. I can't access my animal pens. What happened? Can't access my animal pens. What happened? I'm like, uninstall these factory mods and you're good. Oh man, you're a lifesaver. I'm like, no, I just read the frickin' mod description, dude. I can't emphasize that enough as a long-term player.
Read the mod description in its full length.
Thank you.
Hey, you guys are asking too much. Just make a video. Just tell us what to do.
You expect us to read everything, not just the quick tidbits?
I
First
do.
few sentences?
I do. No, I mean, it's just funny, There are times when I just want to respond, and I'm not a jerk. I'm not a hateful person, but there are times when you just want to go, dude, just send me your game. I'll play it for you too. Because it just sometimes feels like, if you're not hand holding somebody, spoon feeding every tiny tidbit of information, I'm like, this is a game. You need to go learn it for yourself. Like, there's this thing called Google. You can search for this mod. I don't need to link it to you specifically.
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
I thought about making my mod descriptions for my mods super long. And like the first paragraph and a half is nothing but basically an ad for the item.
That would actually get my attention because when I'm looking at mods, I like to know what exactly they're going to do, their perks, to make me want to get that mod.
I just need to find someone who's better at marketing than I am.
By the way, I like that precision farming idea Lifehawk had. Make it a drinking game to see how straight you can drive after drinking.
That's what Friday Night Impromptu streams are for.
There you go. should make a mod where like the what is it called? I think it's like the axis. I forgot. It's a term. It used to be on the thing when you have a steering wheel. That it's like a dead axis thing, degrees.
Dead zone.
Dead zone.
That the mod would every 5 minutes mess with the dead zones, left and right. See how well you can keep driving straight.
That would be awesome.
And then out of nowhere, increase the power back on your steering wheel to make it harder to turn and stuff.
Not all steering wheels have force feedback.
Force feedback, yeah. Well, if you do, you get the real life effects.
We're 90% done. And it only took an hour.
Then we still got our 2 fields to go and take care of.
And those will take 5 minutes. We don't have big fields.
It'll take longer to haul.
Starting off at that platform area down towards the south. That's like a pavement area that's just big enough for like a large cow shed, horse area, maybe a chicken coop.
Now, call me crazy, and you won't be the first. But horses seem like a gigantic waste of time in FS22.
They take a lot of investment to pay out. But one thing that I do love about it is if you actually ride the horse at a full sprint, it will get the riding done a lot more faster than if you were just walking around.
That is true. And maybe I was just spoiled by FS19 and the $50,000 payout you got for all of that effort you put into your horses. But the $5,000 payout in FS22 seems like a bit of a jip, even though technically it actually is far more realistic.
They should make like a harness that allows you to pull tractors or, trailers.
Well, that's one thing that I always argued for, and I'm sure many people remember this at this point. In FS19, I said, it would be great when 22 comes out if they did some kind of a historic farming progression. Where, let's say you start in the you start in the 1920s with horse-drawn equipment, almost like what was it, Railroad Tycoon used to do, where you'd start with trains in the 1920s and 30s and you work your way up through the decades. And it would be really cool to see that kind of farming progression and how equipment changed over time.
Mm-hmm.
But that
would be really nice if you could actually use your horses to pull plows and, make them useful kind of thing.
Well, that'd be, yeah. And have different kinds of horses. You're not going to use a thoroughbred to pull a plow. You're going to have a draft horse of some type.
You'd want like a Clyde or something.
Some cows. Or a donkey. But speaking from a technical perspective, Caveman, do you think maybe it's like the possibility of designing a tractor that doesn't look like a tractor, that looks like a horse, so the game thinks it's a tractor, but it looks like a horse? Like, would that be capable?
It's completely possible. There's about 5 or 6 people that have already designed it. They're just trying to work all the bugs out of it.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And a lot of these people have designed them in such a way that there are, single horse, double horse, all the way up to 6 horses in a team.
Nice. There you go.
And
as long as as long as their legs don't spin on their axis like wheels.
now they'd figured out how to make it actually look like they're walking.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah. And does anybody know how many horsepower one horse is capable of generating?
Like 50? They are pretty strong.
On average.
It'd be one.
No,
One horse
on average, one horse is capable of producing 15 horsepower.
Oh, wow.
Horsepower is not named after a horse. It is named after the guy that came up with the mathematical equation whose last name was Horse. On tractor, get over. This extra turn in this extra bend in this or pivot point in this trailer is driving me nuts right now.
And a horse is a horse, of course. Avansky, how you doing, bud? Good to have you with us. They need a farming empire. That would be cool, Eric. That would be cool. Roselle, as a horse person, they like to see different breeds of horses. Yeah, I agree with that. Personally, I want a Budweiser Clydesdale beer wagon.
And I would love a Clydesdale.
I actually don't say that necessarily for the Budweiser, which I don't care for, but Clydesdales are fantastic looking freaking horses, man. They are spectacular.
And some ponies. Just to mix it all up.
Is it empty now?
It's empty. We're heading for home.
We're at 92% on the contract.
Is the turn-in point the highest sell point?
I have no idea. What do we even got here? We got wheat.
We got wheat. Unless we wanted to place a flour mill.
Actually, it is the highest sell point.
Just dump it. Just sell it. We need the cash more than we need anything else at the moment. I'm going to try to get this header to our farm, but somebody done jacked up my hitch.
You get it figured out.
You
might just have to get out and kick that hitch back into place.
I got it. I got mad hitching skills, man.
Nice. If you saw my video of Rags to Riches, I do not have mad hitching skills.
I saw your video where you're bouncing through the cornfield.
Yeah, I was trying to get to the I was just skipping. I was running to the store because one of the rules is you can't teleport and you can't tap to vehicles. Oh, so yeah. I had to run through it, but I I made the mistake of starting the series with the mod of what is it, manual attachment,
Oh God.
and I was
Yeah,
not
man.
aware of what that means or what that entails. I thought it was just like, oh, you just stand by it and Q or your attach button and you're done. Apparently, no. There's more to it. Apparently, there's the power and the hoses and all sorts of stuff.
See,
Yep.
that car swerved into my lane and clocked the crap out of me.
So there's
Oh,
power.
he knocked my header off too, the son of a...
Oh no.
Where's my header at?
In the road.
It's something. It's not in the road. No, it's sitting next to the road. Oh yeah, yeah. You want some of this? You want some of this?
The tree wants some of it.
Oh man.
The tree wants to show you some love in there, Harv.
This traffic is just evil.
Increase the counter. You need a sound bar, Harv, so you can be like whatever stuff happens.
Oops. I need like a Dirty Harry.
Oh, what's up? I hear you react to the things that are happening on the stream, but like the stream is behind, so that's why I'm like patiently waiting.
I even turned the delay down. Oh, there we go. We got cash coming in. Woohoo!
Yay for money.
And then collect the No, we don't want to collect the contract. That's right.
Those cars are not patient. What the hell?
They're not patient. They should all be drawn and quartered. That's what we could use horses for, drawing and quartering of impatient drivers. There was a workhorse mod years ago and some steam tractor. I know there were a couple of steam tractor mods in FS19. I never got around to using any of them, but I know they were there. The JD 5020. Excellent throwback 105 harvester that you've been using. Oh, that's cool. We've got a big electrical conversation going on about how electrical's not measured in horsepower, but kilowatts can be, etc., etc. Lifehawk, Harv got beheaded. And yes, I'm reading chat while I drive. Oh, these are our fields right here. Don't forget to not turn in the contract, Caveman. That'd be something.
I almost did, and I'm like, wait a minute.
That'd be something I would do. I mean, if you ever played the Pacific Northwest map on FS19, their drivers were as bad as, if not worse, than FS22 drivers. I mean, they were seriously aggressive.
I've been myself are on the last 4 or 5 episodes of Pacific Northwest.
These Bassages will not let us use this harvester to harvest our own fields.
You gotta be kidding me.
I'm not kidding you. This vehicle tool is reserved for contract work. Well, this is part of the we made a deal with this farmer that we could borrow his crap and harvest our fields with it.
Are you serious? They disabled that? I know that you can use the equipment for multiple contracts, but they disabled it for your own fields.
Yeah.
You can only use the equipment for that one contract. You'd have to lease it out of the shop under your own pocket if you want to use multiple contracts.
No, but like, is that an update? Because I've used it before, where like one harvester, 3 contracts.
I've done that too.
I was only able to do that with leasing it out of my own pocket for the contracts.
You know, I got a hunch, Harv.
What's your
Just
hunch?
a hunch. Let's try leasing a header.
You think?
I think.
I mean, be my guest. Give it a shot if you want to.
We're going to lease a header here. What header do we need? What header do we need? What header do we currently have?
Oh, well,
Charcoal.
we're running the Lexion. The Lexion 8900. So whatever grain header goes with that. We only need a grain header.
Okay, so this one, I think that goes to 8900.
Have a good night, Sharko. Take care, man.
Night, Sharko. Take care.
See you at least on Sunday.
Okay, so we're gonna try leasing this header here. Now we just got to get it there.
Oh, you can. Oh no, you can't accept that contract. Never mind. Well, these right here are potatoes, and I can tell you right now, we're not harvesting these backwards ass things. Yeah, right, Roselle. Anybody who's watched horror for a while knows that Red Dead Redemption 2 is one of my favoriteest games of all time. And yeah, I did a lot of Red Dead Online too. And yeah, NPCs will just swerve right into you, like, and then get all butthurt, and you have to gunfight them because because they refuse to acknowledge the fact that they're the ones who screwed up. Then you get a bad reputation, and the sheriff and the posse chases you out of town, and you got to evade them, and it gets ugly. And it wasn't even your fault to begin with. So then you got to kill the sheriff and the sheriff's horse, and then hunt down the sheriff's family and kill them too.
Wow.
All of his long-lost relatives. His mother, his father, his aunts and uncles. And eventually they'll stop chasing you. No, that's an exaggeration, but still.
I'm gonna say that sounds like a little bit of a Pinocchio's tale there. But I don't play the game, so I don't know.
Ah,
Are you bringing that header to us?
I'm trying.
I'm down here plowing these stupid potatoes. Harv ain't playing with no potatoes, man. We can't make chips. Potatoes aren't worth it. Yotes, how you doing, bud?
I like that.
I want sugar beans.
Believe it or not, I harvested 1.5 million liters of sugar beets earlier today.
Believe it.
1.5 million. We've been around it a little bit, Lifehawk. Early impressions from some of our other viewers, like Harley and somebody else was saying something too, and I apologize. Like I said, names just keep slipping out of my head these days. There are some quirks that you need to be aware of, like don't get too close to the edge of the map because you can get lost, as in fall off the edge kind of thing. Or somebody said, was it Jonathan that said this map will eat you if you get too close to the edge, and not in a good fun way?
It will have you running around stuck off the map where you can't do nothing on the map. You can't even visit the stop or something.
Yeah.
You can't tab either.
Nope. It doesn't even register on you on the map, or it didn't register me when I fell off the map. I was lost in the void.
Now,
I could run around the sides of it off the map, but I couldn't get back on the map anyway.
Now, on the plus side, first of all, I will say this map has been out less than a week, so the creator hasn't had a chance to do updates or bug fixes yet. And anybody who has dealt with software in any way, shape, or form knows that the minute you release something to the public, they are going to find issues that you, as a creator, couldn't even conceive of. So, keep that in mind. The other thing I will say is Caveman noticed as we were prepping for the stream tonight that how many 90 different servers, dedicated servers, are already running this map?
81.
81. So it's got something going for it, and I think in general it's a good looking map. I think it's well made. You're not going to get much fancy out of it. It's pretty straightforward. No new crops or anything like that. But when it's all said and done, I think it definitely has some pros, and early on it's got a few cons. So make your own decisions, but we ain't run into nothing yet that would deter us from kicking its butt.
I've only played a little bit on this map, but what I did notice right off the bat was that, like in the description of this map, they say that it's like an old-timey rustic type of feel, and I feel that it does deliver on that. Even starting from.
Oh, so a new header gave us the ability to harvest, huh?
You can use vehicles, but you can't use implements.
Aha.
No, interesting.
Well, that's a lot cheaper to lease a header than a harvester, that's for sure.
For sure.
Remember, I will break the game my way.
Caveman will break the game his way.
I seen it.
Caveman loves breaking things.
Farming Sins and Patrick are looking at doing Rags to Riches, a HOBO'S. And Caveman was just saying, he's like, oh, Hobo Hollow. I might have to come up with a new Rags to Riches gameplay rules just for this map. So
Don't use the manual attachment tool, Patrick.
Yeah, the rules will be getting a slight update anyway, because I found a couple of Harv pointed out a couple of
discrepancies.
Loopholes. Yeah, and discrepancies. But you can find those rules over on my itch.io webpage.
And for those of you who don't know, Patrick is the software engineer who has developed a fantastic mod manager for FS22. And Patrick, I told Caveman to tell you, and because we were talking about it tonight, I'm like, we have old saves, and there's a folder that has old save data in it, but Giants didn't include any kind of functionality to revert to an old save. So why are they saving old data if they're not going to give us a button that allows us to select an older version of a save? Because I was doing my proverbial complaints about autosave, because personally I hate autosave. But and I said, well, that sounds like something that people could get a lot of use out of if somebody would program it like Patrick per se. So, having the ability to say, I don't want my most recent save. I want one from 2 hours ago because I just screwed everything up and I want to go back without having to cut and paste and move stuff from one file folder to another and save this and do that. Which, those of us who have dug into it, I can revert to an old save in under 5 minutes. But why should I have to do that if I'm somebody who doesn't know all of this stuff? And I did a whole video on how to fix a bad save, and that's all it was how to find your old save file and move the proper information into your current save. But a rock solid software engineer should be able to program that in a pretty simple fashion, I would think. It doesn't seem that complex a piece of software. So, just a thought, an idea, throwing it out there. Anybody who wants it, take it, run with it. In relation to 81 top 4 movies of 1981, oh, that's a bit of a stretch, but let's go with it. Superman 2, Stripes, Cannonball Run. I really like Cannonball Run too, I gotta admit it. For Your Eyes Only. And Raiders of the Lost Ark was only number 14 in the box office that year. That's interesting, actually. Side note. Total box office in which Raiders more than doubles Superman 2. Okay. Oh, exactly, Mel. Exactly. That's why, I had a few videos in 19 where I said, well, I think I even prefaced that fixing a bad save video with a failed autosave. Like, oh, we made a mistake and now autosave kicked in. What do I do? Well, here's where your old save folder is. This is how you move the information, and voila, you're back to your old save. But if Giants is saving that information anyway, why not give us a button to push? What good
Absolutely.
what good is that information just sitting there? It's of no value to anybody. So
it's like the deaf.
Exactly.
I don't want to get Caveman started, but it just reminded me of that.
Oh, DEF, the DEF, diesel exhaust fluid.
Yeah, apparently it's in the game. It's just not turned on.
Yeah, it just came in as a mod this weekend, I think, or last weekend. It's a really new mod. Well, new to 22, I should say.
Eric, if you've bought new equipment, I think you just have to rebuy the equipment. I would say maybe you could keep your current vehicle's XML and put it into an old save, but I don't want to say that'll work because I'm not completely sure that it will. It might.
As long as...
Hallelujah, Mel. Hallelujah.
As long
Preach
as...
it, Mel. Preach it. Go ahead, Keith.
I was going to say, as long as you haven't edited the terrain around where that vehicle was sitting between the two saves, it shouldn't break it. Keyword shouldn't.
That's a pretty big keyword, though.
It's almost as big as the if.
And or but.
Yeah.
I was thinking of adding an autosave every time you click on the mod folder button and give an interface to display your saves and FS save and allow restoring of. Yeah, that would be great, Patrick. That would be great. I'm not a fan of autosave personally, but having an interface that would allow me to pick my old saves. Let me know the day and the time that save was created. I never autosave, ever. It's a habit I got into a long time ago, and I never forget to save because I've trained myself to go back and hit the save button before I leave the game. It's more, I think, and we were talking about this earlier too, it's almost more of an issue for content creators because sometimes you're not getting out of your play what you want to get on your video. Or something happens, Like, I mean, there have been times I have recorded 2 or 3 hours of gameplay, and for one reason or another, my mic wasn't picking up and recording. And believe it or not, for me at least, it's easier to go back and re-record that 2 or 3 hours than to try to fake a voiceover on all of that video. Now, granted, 2 or 3 hours gets converted into 30 or 40-minute video, but still, that's a lot of voiceover to try to line up with what you've got recorded. So it's easier just to reset your game, start from scratch, and go play it again. A lot of times it just ends up better anyway, but that's not even the point. The point is, if autosave were on, now I've got to go jump into my folders, pull all the files, move them over to my save, blah, 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 blah. And it just becomes a huge hassle at that point, so... in my opinion.
Yeah, that has happened to both of us, where the game locked up and it didn't save, or it just crashed on us after like an hour and a half.
Right.
Okay, so the oat field is harvested.
Now there's still the sorghum field, right?
Or whatever that field is.
Oh crap. It is sorghum. You know what? We should have placed a flour mill. Because we just sold wheat and we're harvesting oats and sorghum. That would have been 3 things to put in the flour mill.
Yeah, it would have.
Son of beach. Sheet.
Just reload the save, Harv.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha, you funny. You know why you funny?
Oh, you're so funny.
You know why you so funny?
What is that, Harv? What is that?
This is literally all we've done on this save.
Oh no.
Yeah, we haven't saved.
But it's like the first 2 things you've done ever on this map.
Yep.
Oh man. It's not good. Nothing
Yeah,
a
it
little.
still seem to like to crash on us on
Yeah.
our long days where we get like 4 or 8 hours gameplay in that one day a week.
On FS22?
Yes, on 22.
Oh, I haven't had a crush on 22. I've had some on 19, and sometimes it was like, oh, I haven't saved in like 4 IRL hours.
Right.
That's a lot of stuff.
Just be glad you weren't harvesting potatoes that whole time.
Oh man.
You went to the sugar beets once.
Sugar beets.
Sugar
Oh.
beets, the sugar cane.
Oh
I just-
god,
I just have to log off, take a breather, cool off, and then do it and just, get
Although
it done and over with.
I have to say I gave Caveman's Root Crops Plus mod a thorough testing today, and it performed like a champ.
Nice.
Other than the one bug he found.
Other than the one bug, which was corrected very, very quickly. I knew what the problem was, but it wasn't going to do me any good to correct it on my side, so...
Yeah, I think you've heard me say that was the problem so many times on other mods that we were using from elsewhere. You know how to do it yourself now, right?
You know what's interesting too, Caveman?
What?
Stones are on, but I'm not seeing much in the way of stones coming up here.
Interesting.
Which means we're going to end up buying a lot of lime. Because we're not getting no rocks to make no lime out of.
You know what? I don't remember seeing rocks either when I plowed my field.
there's been a few rocks on this map. Watching Har's stream.
Not much, though. I mean,
Yeah, not
there's a
much.
small pile of rock right there, and it's small rocks.
Yeah. United, you're correct. You gotta save every time you do something big.
Well, and you also have to save before you do something that you may not like the result of.
Yeah.
Like landscaping.
I was about to say
Landscaping.
landscaping.
Wait,
Oh
in a
man.
building, yeah.
I built my first grape vineyard today. I've never tried it in the game before, and I did it for the first time today. And
Wow.
before I even placed the first stick, the first post, I saved the game. Yeah, I mean, work has me doing so much that I'm behind the curve on a lot of this stuff, you guys, and I apologize for that. But there's only so many hours in a day, and unfortunately, the real life job got to come first, man. I got a lot invested in
Yep,
that.
that is correct. Gotta work to play the games. Get to buy the new DLCs.
I got the season pass, so I'm good
Oh, you,
there.
you fancy, sir.
I got the season pass as well.
Well, let me go buy it then. Apparently, I'm the one who's behind. I'm the one who's behind.
I didn't bother to get the season pass because I wanted to know what kind of DLCs if they come out. Then I would buy it if it interests me. Otherwise, I'm not going to get them.
I just spaced. I did it for 19. Like when I bought the game, I just bought the one with everything. But on 22, I just didn't think about it.
Well, the way I looked at it is, 90% of games that come out now that have a season pass, if you buy the season pass, you save money over buying every DLC.
Mm-hmm.
But
Or,
is this season pass for everything though?
it's everything that's coming out this year because it is year one season pass.
Oh,
Right.
There was a
Um,
lot of stuff that I really didn't see the interest in, so that's why I didn't get the season pass for me. Now, if it's a free mod, I'll be likely to play with it for an hour or two, but I never stick with the mods, it seems like.
Everybody's got their own preference. I'm just saying, for me though, I find it kind of hard to own a game and only own part of it, so to speak. And to me, the DLC is like a part of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, not owning the DLC is like not owning all the game to me. And it's cheaper to buy the season pass or something like that 9 times out of 10 than it is to buy every DLC or something like that individually because, well, in 19,
Mm-hmm.
you bought 2 DLCs for the price of the season pass. Or you bought the season pass and got everything.
Yeah.
I think the only DLC I got on 19 was the Cotton one.
Patrick wants to add what self-hosting server can be a pain if you're using third-party mods. Thinking of adding a cheap paid service like $1 to $2 a month to share your mod folder so you don't need a dedicated server. That's actually a good idea. There are many times when I've had Caveman or Sharko come on just to help me with a video, but then it's me uploading my entire mod folder to Google Drive or something and them downloading it from there, which granted is free and it's not all the time, so it's not quite the same. But the ability to share your mod folder like that would be bloody fantastic. Justin, sorry to change the subject, but I noticed that Giants announced, yeah, we were talking about that earlier, precision farmings. Justin, no. GPS in at least FS speak, FS terms, is not related to precision farming. I know in real world farming it is. Don't ask me to what extent. I just know that precision farming very much relies in the real world on GPS. Precision farming in FS22 and in FS19, where it had already rolled out, is more about understanding the soils that you're planting in and ensuring that you are adding the appropriate pH and lime, or not pH and lime, that's the same thing. The appropriate pH and fertilizers to your soils to ensure that your crops have the maximum opportunity to grow. So it's really just soil sampling and then adjusting your fertilizer and lime rates to match the type of soil that you're going to be planting in. Some soils are obviously better than others, and certain crops do better in a specific soil type. So you have like loam, sandy loam, silty loam. I think there were 5 or 6 different types. Some crops would do better in silty loam, while others would do better in sandy loam, etc., etc. Rinse and frickin' repeat. That's precision farming in FS. In a nutshell. If I personally were in a nutshell, yes, I would just be kicking and screaming and going, please, for the love of God, let me out of this nutshell. But that's that's precision farming in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Okay, so we done with that.
Well, I've got 2 of the 3 fields plowed. And you can return the header and probably grab or finish that contract, right?
Yeah, so hit and collect on the contract.
Yes, sir.
And returning the header. And we done with that. And if you wanted to place a flour mill, we totally could. I mean, we have room for one.
How much sorghum and oat did we get off these fields?
We got 22,000 of, I think it was oats. Of course. Let me just hook up to the trailer again. We got 22,094 liters of oats, and we have 33,425 liters of sorghum.
Let's see, if we had all that, if we hadn't sold the wheat, I would say let's go ahead and place a flour mill. Well, I don't know. What do you think? Would it be worth it? For 25,000 of each, basically?
Do it.
I was going to say, why don't we ask the 2 people that are in voice with us?
I would say do it, yeah.
Well, we are coming up on planting season for barley and wheat, so we could plant 1 or 2 of these fields in those.
Yeah, that's true. We could.
If you had as an investment, you know, the flour that you'd be getting off of it coming up on the next harvest and stuff
And
would be well worth it, I think.
Somebody threw away all of the straw on the oat field.
I mean, we didn't have a baler, and I didn't think about it.
Don't worry about it. I'm just being a smart aleck.
Okay, so we're placing one.
Sure, go for it. What did we do that big wheat wheat harvest for anyway.
You want the grain mill, right?
Yes, sir.
Grain mill's huge.
So Mel, we're on a new map. It's called Hobo's Hollow, and I am plowing this field right now, preparing the soil for new planting. Plowing under the old crop residue, and just getting ready so that we can put in a new crop for next year. We're in the month of August at the moment, which means we're late in the season, but there are fall crops. Oh, that reminds me. This has a different. I should have checked this earlier. This map. The reason I wanted to look at it actually is because we have a different planting calendar on this map than we do on most of our other base game maps. So wheat can be planted. Wheat, barley, canola, oats, corn, and sunflowers can all be planted March through May and September and October. That's interesting. So we have a different planting schedule on this map, and we do get winter grains and spring grains. And you do have the potential to double crop. So that's a bit of a big deal.
Okay, so this is going into the grain mill, right?
Yep.
United was asking about the limit on slots on consoles. That is done by the game maker or the console maker, not the game maker itself.
No, that's not entirely true. I mean,
it's not? Okay.
Slot count. PCs don't have slot counts because we have virtually unlimited memory. Slot counts on consoles are there because consoles can only manage so much data at a time. They're not as powerful as PCs. So they have to be managed in a specific way. Now, I didn't realize that Giants had rolled back slot counts on some consoles in patch 1.3. And that's what Bill is saying right now, at least from what I could decipher that he's saying.
Yes, they did 1.3. Consoles did get a slot count debuff.
Nerf.
Right.
Yeah, nerf, whatever you want to call it.
And Bill, honestly, I mean, it's just a performance. It's a way to manage performance so that your performance doesn't degrade to unplayability. I mean, they could unlock the slot count for consoles, and then they're going to be dealing with 10,000 tech support phone calls about people who are complaining about their games bogging down when they've got 472 mods installed and 42 different tractors all purchased on the same map. So controlling the slot count allows them to maintain a level of quality of your gameplay experience. That's my understanding of it. Why do you want a double crop situation? Double cropping situation, I mean, it allows you to utilize your field more over the course of a year. So you can, on certain years, get 2 crops planted in the same field per year. And that is very much a real world farming practice.
So that just means you plant twice within 1 year? That's
Yep.
what double crop situation?
Right. So you would say, and it very much, in the real world, it depends on your climate, how harsh your climate is, how long your growing seasons are, things like that. Um, but you know, if let's say for example I planted wheat early spring, like late March or early April, that would be early spring for planting. You know, that crop might be ready to harvest by say August, and it's still early enough, you know, maybe even early August. And don't quote me on this, guys, because I'm not giving you exact information here. But so I get my wheat harvested, and I get out there and I get my field all prepped and ready, and I can get a new crop in the field by 1st of September. The nice thing about grass type crops, grain type crops, because wheat, oats, and barley are all considered, could be considered grasses. But they hibernate during the winter, just like the grass on your lawn does. And so you can get them in early fall. They hibernate during the winter, and then once it warms up, they start growing again, and you can get an early summer harvest and just maintain a good crop rotation that allows you to utilize your field as much as possible.
Yeah.
Also with corn, there's two different kinds. There's a sweet corn that we humans like to eat. Then there's cattle corn, from what I understand, that's a shorter growing season.
Feed corn, and then you know there is corn that's grown just for silage. There's corn that is grown just to turn into ethanol. And that's all shorter growing seasons too. And Bruce, you know, brings up a good point. Short season beans are common after wheat in the Midwest of the USA. So it's things like that. You know, farmers trying to utilize their. I mean, what's the biggest resource a farmer has? It's his fields or her fields. And if they're sitting not doing anything for 8 months out of the year, they're not making any money off of those fields. So if you can, the longer or the more you can utilize that ground to keep crops working for you, to provide you more and better harvest. And you know, the point Bruce makes there too, without directly stating it, is that you can't plant the same crop back to back to back to back, because it drains the soil of all of its nutrients. That's why in the Midwest especially, you'll see a lot of crop rotations around soybeans and corn. One year they'll plant corn, the next it's soybeans, and they just keep that going back and forth because one replenishes the soil for the other. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, Ivan. Popcorn. Yeah. Cheerleaders. Where?
Hey, Harv.
Hey, Caveman.
We forgot something.
What did we forgot?
Mulching the
Mulching.
fields.
What did you buy off the sale rack?
Yeah, we got a mulcher and we didn't use it. Oh. Oh well. We lose 2.5% the first go around. We'll make it back up. The fields are plowed. What you up to besides figuring out what I forgot to do?
Not much, really.
Falling asleep. Are you pulling a Sharko on me?
Hey, I'm not asleep yet.
Oh, you've been setting up the... Yeah. Lucy, I'm home.
What part of the map did you guys settle your home farm?
Where?
Or what what like where did you guys use the standard home area, starting area?
No.
No idea.
Nope.
That was, if you use the starting farm area, that would be right next to the shop. Kitty corner to it, basically.
The starting farm area is right here, next to the Circle C Saloon. And you start with field 4. We are up here closer to the shop. So near the shop there's a placeable area that we were able to pick up for about 65,000. And then we grabbed 17, 51, and 52 right down here. So we're pretty far off the beaten path from the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit.
I like how the starting farm is like inside the trees. You have to drive a little dirt road and turn to get to the.
Mm-hmm.
It gives it a good feel. You guys are next to the X.
Well, you know what, Caveman?
What?
I'm going to be a risk taker here.
How so?
Right next to the flour mill.
Uh-huh.
For $90,000. I'm going to put it in an industrial bakery.
What do we need besides flour?
To make bread, all we need is flour.
Okay, cool. So we're changing flour over to distributing. And we're turning bread.
It actually spawned a pallet of
Yeah.
flour already. What? There. I put our first pallet of flour right into the bakery.
Okay, and now it should be distributing. It's distributing.
Outstanding.
Really
Caveman,
like that feature.
can you
Yes.
can you keep things going for a few minutes? Mother Nature and I and Adolphus Coors need to have a conversation.
Okay, well, what's left to do besides fast forward a day and plant? Unless you want to do more contracts.
Are we fertilized? No.
No.
Could probably stand to get some fertilizer on them their fields.
Okay, well, it looks like I'm gonna go fertilize fields.
Or you can stone pick. I mean, there are stones in there that we could pull.
Oh, really?
Just not much.
Few stones, yeah.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Okay, so I'll take both with me. Got a fertilizer spreader.
Shanez doesn't need lime.
Huh?
Question is, does the fields need lime?
Probably.
Because if you fertilize then lime then fertilize, you can get 100% before.
17 and 52 need lime, and just a little bit of 51 on the east side.
Well, I'm gonna grab the fertilizer on my way down there. 'Cause it's a slow go. I mean, you know, y'all two in voice chat are more than welcome to talk too.
But I'm scared.
What's there to be scared about?
I was kidding. A little bit that I did get to look around the map. Overall, I do think this is a wonderful map. Except for the one small thing, which I think was just a glitch on my end, where the side of the map would throw me out of the map off the thing where I could run clear around it, but I couldn't get back on the map. That was kind of humorous.
I'm enjoying it too.
if you have that problem again, since you're on PC, activate fly mode, fly up as high as you can, then try to fly back onto the map.
That I'll have to do.
Honestly, what probably happened is he's probably got his collision box backwards. Because you're not supposed to be able to walk off the map, but you're supposed to be able to walk back onto it if you get on the other side somehow. Supposed to be able to.
It should teleport you to the other side of the map like in Pac-Man.
That would be convenient.
You would be like one of those like what movie? A lot of movies have done it, but I think one of the one with Freddy Krueger,
Yeah.
where she's dreaming and she's running down the street and she's on this side of the block now. That's how it's gonna work.
Yeah, I know the one you're talking about, but I can't think of it.
Stuff gets lost easy enough without being teleported.
Yeah, the gameplay I'm doing, I'm trying to follow Lifehawk's recommendation, which is not to use contracts. Try to keep it more like you're your own farmer type of thing. Do work on your field only, which is kind of difficult, at least for me starting off with, but very very doable. Like kind of cut your own trees, do your own silage to get the extra money. You know what I'm saying? Speed up time if there's nothing else. Because he does make a point of like that's what you do in No Man's Land. There are no contracts, so it's the same concept. Tried it out. Nightmare on Elm Street. There you go.
I hope 82 Studios can come out with that pop-up camper truck bed mod where it's a little portable camping cab that's on the back of your truck.
Oh, yeah, that thing. I mean, that would be nice.
Does it allow you to sleep in?
Yes.
Yeah, 19 allowed you to sleep. Yeah.
Actual functional campers would be really nice. Would be really nice.
Time they'll probably come out with it. It only took them about a year and a half for 19 to get it.
Well, I mean, it took about that long to get Sleep Anywhere. We already have that.
True.
I mean, that's literally step one.
They just gotta modify the code to make it work for 22.
Yeah.
But thank you. I gotta say thank you for all the mod makers who's improving the game so much. I know you're overworked trying to get everything, but
don't
it is
forget
appreciated.
underpaid.
Oh yeah, underpaid definitely.
That's supposed to be a joke, guys.
Don't worry, Caveman. I'll start slipping you some money for it. Oh wait, that was in the open. Oops.
Checks in the mail, Caveman.
It's awfully quiet in here.
Yeah, it is kind of quiet, isn't it?
A little bit. So you're fertilizing right now?
No, I'm rock picking.
Oh, you're rock picking.
Yeah, I'm rock picking.
Do you have the fertilizer spreader?
It is sitting over here beside the field.
Is it full?
Yes.
Oh, all right. I'm coming. Ma 2112. How you doing, bud?
Just got done saying thank you to all the mod makers. Since we're talking about 82 Studios, how I was missing their camper.
Yeah, Caveman. Was it no Sharko used that on our playthrough on that one thing that we did that one time.
Yukon.
Yes, on Yukon.
Yeah. Yeah, he used that. I used the Overland camper. You used the old retro camper.
An old retro from the fantastic guys at OK Used Mods.
Mm-hmm.
Or Guy, I should say. Surely this is your last field, right?
No, this is the first one. Remember, this thing breaks if you turn the real speed on it?
Nope, did not realize that.
Yeah. Anything over 18 miles an hour in multiplayer, it stops picking up stones.
Oh, no, didn't.
Oh wow, it's a very specific use case there.
Yeah, it is.
In single player, it works fine. You can run this thing 30 mile an hour down the field, it picks up stones.
I guess it doesn't matter if I fertilize over rocks. It's not going to affect them.
Yeah, might make them grow.
Make sure you put down the Miracle Grow. Chia.
Silage corn is a different crop in real life, generally speaking, as far as genetics. That being said, it's planted closer together is the big difference. Just let it mature and it'll dry. Yeah, that makes sense. One thing that I have been reading, however, is with all of the drama that's going on with Russia and the Ukraine right now, the Ukraine especially is considered a bit of a breadbasket over there. Russia as well, and so grain prices are going to be pushing up because obviously the ports and whatnot are closed.
Did not know they did so much for grain.
Yep, they did. I'm getting out of your way, man.
I see that. Thank you.
You don't get in Caveman's way when he's picking rocks.
Or plowing.
Or plowing. That's a really good point too, Lifehawk. I've argued that for a long time. You know, I appreciate the fact that map makers are making maps that are more specific to the areas that they're familiar with. But I would love to see some additional countries get added into the mix in the FS series.
I think we need more modders from more areas.
That's fair. Why is Farm Sim not translating into China or Japan or India, as Lifehawk stated? You know,
Yeah,
this field is not accepting fertilizer.
that field already has fertilizer on it.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure it does.
I'd have sworn I looked at these fields and none of them had any fertilizer at all. But maybe Adolphus and I have had too much of a conversation this evening. I might have missed something. And oh, that's what it was. I didn't turn off the lime factor because all of our fields need bloody lime as well. Except the middle one.
On the bright side, then, the other fields, you can always put a new coat of fertilizer after the lime.
No, that's true. But we don't know what seeder we're using yet. If we use one that runs fertilizer, there's not There's no need. I mean, I guess we could just not put fertilizer in the seeder.
I mean, if it doesn't, if it field won't take it, it's not going to use it anyway.
Yeah, it will.
It wasn't for me.
In a seeder?
It wasn't for me.
I've always had it suck fertilizer out of my seeder. Even if I've gone over something I've already seeded, it won't take the seed, but it will run the fertilizer out for me.
Oh. Weird.
Oh, yeah. Single player.
That would be nice to see some rice fields.
Yeah, it'd be nice if they could actually do it where they, it's actual flooded fields.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see a map with absolutely, absolutely. Anything different, We've been doing the same thing for quite a long time. That's why I find maps really interesting that introduce new crops. That's one thing that Caveman has always been very good about, is adding new crops and finding ways to make them unique.
Maybe new animals too.
New animals.
Like you could treat them as like for example horses, but it's a camel or a donkey or llama.
Caveman does that too, and not in
Nice.
22, but in 19 he had ducks and goats. I want to say.
Oh, sure did.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
I would love to see ducks in here as a new animal.
Where are the turkeys?
That'd be cool too, and I will be right back.
Okay. The lady who's in charge of the office I've been working at this week is I want to the impression I get is she's just kind of somebody who's really interested in everything. Now, she grew up in a ranching family anyway, and she kind of has her hand in a lot of different, nothing serious, it's almost more hobbyish, but she raises chickens, and she's also a beekeeper. So I've been asking her a lot of questions about beekeeping, and she's more than happy to share the information. And bees apparently are a very challenging thing to get into financially and otherwise. Like, you would think, oh, it's just a bunch of bees that are stored in a box kind of thing. It's not that simple. They have to treat them for mites every year, twice a year. Because bees...
How to make sure that the African bees don't get into the colony too and take it over.
She didn't say much about that. One of the funny things, though, that she was saying was, when they're looking for mites, and this is a real concern in a bee colony, one of the things that they'll do is they'll make like a ball jar into a shaker jar with holes punched in the lid so that you can shake out what's in it, right? And they would put powdered sugar in there and then scoop up a handful of bees and toss them in the jar, put the lid on, and shake up the jar so the bees are all coated in powdered sugar. But apparently the powdered sugar is enough to knock the mites off of the bees.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And then what you do is you turn the jar upside down and you shake out all the powdered sugar onto a plate or a bowl. And the thing that is beneficial is that this does not kill the bees. So you shake out all the powdered sugar and the mites are black, so you can get an idea of how badly infested your bees are with mites by looking at the powdered sugar that's left over. And then you just release the bees back into the colony with powdered sugar on them, which they don't care because sugar is really their primary food source.
Very interesting. It's like
so-
a little dry bath. for
Yeah,
bees.
yeah, exactly. But you know, if there's not much in the way of mites, then they don't have to worry about providing them with a treatment or whatever. But if there are, then, and she said she treats her beehives about twice a year, just to be safe, no matter how much, how many mites come off of the bees. And then, and you know, the reason that bees make honey, it's common sense, but some people may not know, is that they're storing food for the winter. Honey is just bee food.
Bee vomit.
Well, technically, yeah, but it's also, you know, the bees are. Oh, I see. The bees use that as a food source when they obviously can't collect pollen and whatnot. So if you pull all the honey out of a hive, one of the things that you have to do is replace their food source. And she was talking about these things called candy boards. And she's like, some of my hives really like candy boards and others don't like them so much. And so, of course, you know, that begs to question, what the heck is a candy board? And it's real simple. I mean, you build a frame, a wood frame, and you cover it in some type of mesh. Not as big as like a chicken wire mesh, but not as fine as, say, a screen door type of mesh. Something in between. And then you take, you know, traditional granulated sugar and add just enough water so that it will clump and pack together. And then you take this sugar and you pack it into the board all over the mesh. And then you put that over the top of your hive. And that provides the food source that the bees need to get them through the winter time. Because, you know, bees are 100% carbohydrate driven, and pure sugar is, you know, the best food that they can get. So just interesting little, and it's, you know, it's really cool to talk to somebody who does this stuff in real life, and you get that real life perspective on, you know.
You need to get her in the channel. It'd be awesome to hear from her.
It would be awesome to hear from her.
Do they know you're a celebrity at your work?
I wouldn't call myself a celebrity, but people don't ask.
Influencer.
People don't ask too much, and I haven't had the opportunity to share much. I don't know. It feels a little bit. It's not like embarrassed or anything. It's just kind of like, I don't want to be a braggart or, oh, I've got this YouTube channel, and you know. So it just hasn't come up naturally at this point yet. If it ever does, I mean, I'll have no problem saying, well, I've got a YouTube channel. But,
Right.
you know, I'm more interested in finding out what they know. But,
Yeah. It would
Yeah.
be
You should wear
cool.
one of your shirts into work.
Yeah.
I don't work in a place where a T-shirt is appropriate. So,
It would be cool if they were like, "Yeah, your voice sounds so familiar, and I can't figure out where I've heard it."
Well, there is sweatshirts, I believe, that you got on your merchandise there, on your merchandise store there, Harv.
well, as much as everybody works in agriculture, it's still very much a professional environment. So,
Oh wow.
I think Caveman's back.
Yeah.
You want your tractor back? As I'm mucking up your rock collecting.
I mean, sure, I'll take the tractor back if you're.
Well, all I was thinking was I could probably start thinking about what cedar we want. Probably the traditional getting started cedar that won't take all day. Nothing good in the sale menu.
Well, the day hasn't changed yet.
I know, but I'm thinking ahead. I'm pre-planning.
Uh-oh.
I know, scary, huh?
If only you had a checklist to put it in.
Sherlock Holmes keeps bees. He's an excellent resource. Oh, nice, Yotes. A German beekeeper. As long as he does the Google Translate. Well, I mean, our options as far as crops go, I guess I should really look at that first. We've got quite a few options late fall plantings. Wheat, barley, canola, and oats.
So are we leasing one or buying one? I'm assuming leasing.
Probably leasing for now, because we're probably going to have to lease a harvester. We're going to be blowing through money on leases for a while. We could do sorghum too. You know what I'm thinking? I think we do.
Double down on bread.
Well, since it's all grain crops in the fall, we've already done oats and sorghum, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got 3 fields, so I'm saying 1 in wheat, 1 in barley, and then 1 in either oats or sorghum.
Oat sounds good.
We've currently got, oats would be better because we've got less oats than we do sorghum.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Whichever we have less of is the one I would go with.
So wheat, barley, and oats. Holy shnikes, Batman. Got a lot of nice contracts on this map. A cultivating contract on field 10. The same field we just harvested wants to pay us another $43,000 to cultivate their field.
What cultivator do they offer with it?
That's a good size one. It's not. It's like the large Vaderstadt.
Okay.
The really big Vaderstadt.
Heck, I mean, that's not a bad deal for the price.
Not really.
I don't think so.
But I mean, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 fertilizer contracts. Worth about $150,000. There's a plowing contract for 22, which I could be done without leasing anything. On field 32. Where's field 32? Oh, it's right there. Just down there. It's not that far from us, actually. I'm going to grab that plowing contract on 32.
Okay. I don't think we're going to have enough rocks to even warrant getting a rock crusher.
The way it looks right now, we might just sell the rock crusher back and be done with it.
You mean the rock picker? Because we don't own a rock crusher.
Oh, the rock picker, yeah. I mean, if there's no more rocks on this map than that little bit right there, then we just sell the rock picker and turn rocks off, because what's the point? It just becomes a tedious bunch of crap at that point. Why bother? Ivansky, mulberries, blue, and blackberries. Yeah, and any kind of tree fruits would be really cool. A nice addition. Stone fruits. and then apples. Anything that requires one of those amazing tree shakers. I want a tree shaker that will harvest my fruits for me. That would be awesome. Only do contracts based on the look of the person. Okay. Nobody would ever take my contracts then.
Lifehawk, didn't you say the other day that you don't do contracts, or was that somebody else?
Yeah, that's where I got it from Lifehawk.
Yeah, Lifehawk doesn't.
Maybe that's
do
why he
contracts.
doesn't do any, because he always took them off the base of the person, and all of them look suspicious to him.
That's why I was asking him. Like, maybe they don't want to. They don't look like they're good for the money.
He does have a paranoid personality. That's a good point, Avansky. Yeah, if we had fruits in the game, like actual fruits that we weren't, calling crops fruits, you could have fruit pies at the bakeries.
Well, there's strawberries. They should make strawberry pie.
You could do strawberry pie.
You could also do tomato pie.
I seen the strawberry on one map, and I think that was the 19 map. I hope they bring it over to 22 and make that more common, where you take a bucket and have to collect it by hand.
We've hit that thing again where you take a contract and then it gets deleted. Well, I accepted.
I have seen that.
I accepted a contract and then it just disappeared on me.
It's possible that you accepted it as it was being done by the farmer or something.
Yeah, whatever happened. It's a crock.
See,
What a load of crap.
That Miss Hartman looks like she's gonna complain the whole time you're out there in her farm.
Tanner.
You're doing it wrong.
Tanner, dude, how you doing, man? Tanner Fennell is a real life friend from Indiana. He is dating at least he was last I heard, dating my best friend's daughter. And we used to get together and hang out on weekends sometimes. Not late for me. It's only about 10:30. Late for you, maybe. I agree, Roselle. Carrots was a nice addition, too. Anything that changes the game up, it doesn't even have to be that dramatic, but just something that's different, We see the same thing over and over again. It's the nature of farming. I mean, farming is a very repetitive industry in the real world, but when we're playing it for fun, having something that changes that up from time to time makes a big difference.
I like the idea of pecans and pecan pie.
I like that idea too.
I love pecan pie.
Well, and I don't know how much you guys know, but California is just littered with almond trees now. Like, most of the world's almonds come from California. Caveman and I were talking about this too. When almond trees are in bloom, tens of thousands of beehives are shipped to California just to pollinate the almond trees. And people make good money off of their beehives shipping to California. Fruit trees, anything that requires a pollination aspect to it. Beekeepers ship their hives over there. Although hive theft is a big deal too. As strange as that might sound. But, yeah, beekeeping can be very good money if you can build it up enough. Don't even tell me that contract completed too. No, I just gotta find it. Oh, it's right next door. How convenient. That's a big freaking field. Where am I going? It's literally right behind us. This field right here.
How much are they paying to do that field?
30,000.
Not terrible.
I'll take it. Cherries and other stone fruits are related to almonds. That makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Ooh, cherry trees would be nice to have in game too.
They would. Pecan waffles. I wouldn't turn my nose up at a pecan waffle. It's not quite
Ooh, that sounds good.
not quite pecan pie, but close enough for government work.
Now, if it was a pecan pie waffle,
Oh. Instead of
People better
syrup, you
get
would
out
have
the
kind
way
of a
then.
instead of a syrup, you'd have kind of a liquefied pecan pie filling.
well, I was thinking more along the lines of as you mix the pecan pie filling into the waffle batter.
Oh, that could work too. Waiter,
Pecan pie muffins.
there, there is too much pepper in my paprikash, but I would be proud to partake of your pecan pie. Name that movie. Good luck.
No idea.
Life Hawk, that one's for you. Name that movie.
Waiter, there is too much pepper in my paprikash, but I would be proud to partake of your pecan pie. Pecan waffle pie sandwich. This man just made me feel something I didn't know I could about food. I'm not sure what that is, Tanner, and please don't share. Just keep it to yourself.
Okay,
I did see where they had a meatloaf muffin where they put the mixture of meatloaf in muffin tins, and it was individual
Oh yeah, individual
bite
meatloafs.
size.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I've seen those.
okay.
Real mincemeat pies. I don't think I've ever had mincemeat pie, to be honest.
What about if you bake a German chocolate pie inside of a German chocolate cake?
See, I used to want, and one of these days I'm going to develop this recipe. I promise you I will, because my favorite pie is coconut cream. And so I wanted to develop, I will develop one of these days the coconut pie cream cake, or coconut cream pie cake. And so it would be a layer cake with coconut cake on the bottom, coconut cream pie in the middle without the crust, and then coconut cake on the top layer. Coconut cream pie. Or no, coconut cake on the top layer, covered in a nice coconut whipped cream frosting with toasted coconut on the outside.
That actually sounds pretty good.
I want it now. Shepherd's pie is great stuff. We're going from sweet to savory, but shepherd's pie is really good.
Oh yeah, I like shepherd's pie.
That the one with mostly potatoes, mashed potatoes that's baked?
Well, it's almost like a beef stew type mixture, but traditionally it's done with lamb.
Okay.
And
Technically, it's called a cottage pie when it's made with beef.
oh, fair enough. But yeah, it's it's basically a beef stew. You put it in a casserole dish. You cover it with mashed potatoes. A lot of people like to sprinkle cheese on top, and then you bake it till it's nice and bubbly. Oh, that works too, Eric. Meringue would work also.
Okay. Where are these countries?
And if we were going to do a coconut or a coconut cream pie cake, we could do a lemon meringue pie cake. Lemon cake on the bottom, lemon meringue filling in the middle, lemon cake on top, do a meringue frosting on the outside, toast it a little bit. Oh, Tanner's having, apparently he's having shepherd's pie as we speak. And he's not even sharing. OMFGWTF, man.
Now, is it real shepherd's pie or is it a cottage pie?
Cottage pie. I guarantee it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go cultivate field 10.
I am fertilizing field whatever, but it's massive. Unless you want to advance the day and get our crops planted, since we know what we're doing now.
Oh, I already took the contract.
Jordan hates mashed potatoes. Now, I respect people's
wow.
choices when it comes to food. And I've only known one other person that hated mashed potatoes. And frankly, if I never see her again the rest of my life, it will be far too soon. So, with my apologies, Jordan, you just got lumped in with one of my exes. And that doesn't bode well for you, my friend. Just because of the mashed potatoes issue.
Now, I love spuds. I could eat them anyway, 3 times a day, quite happily.
Okay, now for everybody out there, whooped mashed potatoes or lumpy mashed potatoes?
Lumpy.
Lumpy, man.
I like to do mine a mixture, kind of lumpy but whipped. I do it with a fork where it's really boiled soft so it falls apart.
I do mine with a traditional potato masher. But it leaves nice little chunky bits of potato in it. Not like big lumps or anything, but just enough to, you've bit into a little piece of potato every once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Skin on or skin off?
Off.
Doesn't matter, I'll eat the skin as I'm peeling it, so.
I like the skin.
Mashed potatoes, skin off. Just about any other way, skin on is fine.
Doesn't matter to me either way.
Jordan. Sorry, Jordan.
That's the steak baked potato. We have that. I don't know if it's a thing here, but it's probably everywhere. Where you get a humongous baked potato with all the good mixed, stuff you put in it, and then boom, like a pound of meat on it, like usually brisket or fajita.
Oh God, that sounds good.
And then drip it in barbecue sauce. It's amazing.
Never mind, like the brisket loaded baked potato.
From where?
I'm trying to think where I got that. That was Florida. It's Florida. What I'm thinking about that was so good was Florida. The what was it? Used to be the Daytona Pig. I can't remember what the name of it is now.
Yeah, we just call them like loaded.
Loaded potatoes, yeah.
Loaded potatoes.
Mm-hmm.
The extra special loaded potato.
Oh, they had one that you could get brisket, you could get steak, and you could get regular barbecue on theirs.
Oh yeah. Have you guys tried? Because I know you guys are not from here, but when you get like a potato, just with cheese and butter and bacon bits and all that good stuff. Have you ever guys tried cream? I don't want to say sour cream, but it's like the Mexican cream. I don't know what it's called. It's different.
It's not sour cream, but it's
Right.
kind of like sour
Yeah,
cream.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's my jam right there. And brisket, like Lifehawk.
Brisket.
Everything with brisket tastes better.
Oh, really? You're not going to let me cut through the woods to get into the bloody shop? You guys suck. Now I've got to go out of the woods and around. This is a tractor. It's the ultimate off-road vehicle. And you're going to put a fence around your shop yard.
But they did it just for you, Harv.
I know it. Because they suck.
Hey guys, Harv's World's gonna play this map. Let's put a fence right here just to annoy him.
That's right. That's right. That's the story of my life.
Rotten potatoes, that's good.
Depends. If they're like the cheesy au gratins, that's fine. If it's just traditional au gratin, where it's potatoes and like a cream sauce without the cheese, I can kind of take it or leave it. Okay, one thing that I have to compliment this map maker on. See the parking lot for purchased equipment? Map makers, take frickin' note of this. How much room is there to pick up equipment? And it's not jammed up against the side of the shop. Yeah. Believe it or not, that is a big deal.
Especially when I like to drive semis and stuff, it's tough to get them out of a small shop.
Exactly. Or a lot of times headers. Like on Calmston Farm, I bought a beet harvester and a header, and just hooking up to the header, I couldn't hardly get the harvester behind it because it was so close up to the shop. It's like, it details, guys, details. Pay attention to the frickin' details.
Try getting a tractor with duals on it out of the shop at Collinsman Farm.
I have.
It's hard, isn't it?
I didn't struggle with that nearly as bad as the beet harvester.
Well, to be fair, it was the Steiger that I tried it with.
Oh, well, it's a Steiger. What do you expect? Ivan sees too many hash browns every day. He doesn't want to see anymore. Hash browns were always a type of potato I can take or leave. I like them, but it's not something I'm going to go in search of.
If I'm going to have hash browns, I better have eggs with them. But I love hash browns. I'd rather have other forms of potatoes if I don't have eggs.
And Roselle, I couldn't agree with you more. The map objects hider mod was brilliant, and I used it frequently. I love map objects hider, and we do need it back. Desperately.
I love that the store is central to the map.
That's
Like,
always
it's in the middle.
beneficial.
That's another note they ought to be taking.
What? Oh, put
Centralized store.
Yeah. 'Cause now it doesn't matter where you
Well,
want to start.
Well, I'll put
I-
it this way: they should be taking that note on larger maps.
that's fair.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I could make an argument for the fact that, you know, if you're moving into a new area, the shop's not going to be equidistant from your farm to everything else. And sometimes it's nice to have
Agreed.
the shop farther away. Although if I'm starting on like farm manager or something, I will generally place my farm as close to the shop as possible within reason. Good night, Roselle.
I
Take
like-
care. It's been good having you with us tonight.
Good night.
I like to go as far away from the shop as possible.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Why
You're
is
a
that?
madman.
You just like to drive over to the shop and get your crap and drive back?
Yes, I love driving.
Fair enough.
That
Of
is
course,
true.
I'd like to see you do the rags to riches challenge, and do that.
Oh man. A lot of running in the beginning.
well,
Definitely
just
sounds interesting.
make sure you buy a tractor first.
I mean, you still can't do teleporting or tabbing.
No, but as long as you got a tractor.
Well, like for example, like I was harvesting a field, right? And the first thing is you take the harvester, but then you have to run back to come get the tractor with the trailer.
Oh. Nah, that's a little.
That's why it's a challenge.
Well, apparently on Calmsden, I think it was probably Lifehawk who told me about this too. They've already done or have created the Clarkson Farm Challenge for Calmsden Farms. I don't know what the rules are. Oh, there we go. Don't know what the rules are on that or anything, but for those of you who are fans of Clarkson's Farm, there's apparently rules and everything for a challenge to make it like Calmsden Farm, like Clarkson's Farm. I don't cook as much now either, Avansky, but that's only because I don't really like just cooking for myself. I'll cook my butt off for somebody else, but for myself, I'm like, you know, my prime recipe anymore these days is it's something I call mac and chili, or it's chili cheese dog macaroni. And it's Kraft macaroni and cheese with hot dogs and chili mixed in. That's as fancy as I get.
That's good.
I'm done fertilizing, Caveman. So whenever you're done with that, we could advance the day.
Okay, I'm gonna be a few minutes.
Oh God, you took the massive one.
I told you I was taking the one on field 10.
No, well, it didn't register that it was field 10. I'm collecting mine. God, there's a lot of cultivating contracts. Field 11's a beast of one too. Where's field 11 compared to field 10? That's funny. Field 10 is here. Who freaking knows where field? I know I'm just missing something obvious. Oh, there it is right there. That's a big field too. What else have we got? $18 is a good one. Oh, that's right next door too. Hmm. Hmm. I don't like this tool combination though. This tractor is actually underpowered for that piece of equipment. I've run into that problem before. So you know what? You guys could bite me. I'm not doing it.
Oh, what, that versatile with the Vader stat?
Yes.
Yeah, it's underpowered.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I actually one of the contracts I was doing
Here, for our John Deere fans, I'll take this contract.
before that happened, and I ended up just using my truck to pull it. It pulled it faster, and
Is
that was
that right?
before I had my semi-weight in game.
Kraft mac and cheese with peas. Okay, I personally despise peas. I don't see where that would be bad if you like peas. Holy crap, that's a big freaking cultivator.
I like sometimes adding tuna to mac and cheese.
Ooh, that is good.
Like a tuna helper type of thing.
Spam.
That or ham.
Dice some spam or ham and put it in there.
Mm.
That'll work.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. That he sounds like a Minecraft villager.
What does?
Chicken.
You, when you go, or the sound you make.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah, the Minecraft villager.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing.
Nice.
Yep, that's totally where I got that from.
Nice.
Oh, see, Tanner said the Minecraft villager sounds make me miss game nights with you. We used to have game nights on Sunday. They were actually game days. We would play all day, table games and stuff. And yeah, it was me going doing the Minecraft villager thing. Oh, I miss you guys too, man. It's been too long. Too frickin' long. Come on. You know, something, I mean, so game mechanics in FS22 have kind of gotten us out of the habit of using cultivators and direct drills because it just causes weed issues. And the Lizard 9M plow, which doesn't cause weed issues, and when I say weeds, I mean actual weeds, not dispensary type stuff. We're just getting out of the habit of using cultivators and direct drills because it's more efficient to just plow. In my opinion. Right?
It is more efficient.
Exactly. Now, if I was doing something with tuna, I mean, I would just make egg noodles, put cream of mushroom soup in it, and then add a couple cans of tuna. Some people add peas to that. I don't personally care for it, but we just call it tuna and noodles. Good college food. Lost a few days.
Interesting.
So like to add in some mushrooms, sliced mushrooms. That's pretty good.
You know what I recently found out? Like, maybe like a year or two ago. What double baked potatoes were.
Really? You just finding out what a double baked potato is?
I had never had it, like ever.
Oh,
And when we tried it, I was like, where has this been all my life? I've been missing out.
With the double baked, are you talking about like the fully loaded double baked ones wrapped in bacon and topped with cheese?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
the
some good
only way to
stuff.
do it.
Beef salad's good with lots of bacon.
Pea salad?
I back you on that there, Harley.
The only way I really like any kind of pea is split pea soup, split peas with ham. And it wasn't something that I necessarily would have looked up for myself, but one of my exes really liked it, so I got a good recipe for it, and I started making split pea with ham, and it was actually pretty darn good soup. So I did learn to enjoy that, but just peas, it's a texture thing with me. Honestly, it really is just a texture issue with fresh peas, and it's even worse with cooked peas. So peas and I don't get along.
How about a seafood diet?
You seafood and you
You
eat
see
it.
the food, I eat the food.
Exactly.
That's better than the vitamin T diet.
Do we want to know?
It's you eat tacos, tortas, tamales,
Oh,
tostadas.
that sounds like my kind of diet. I have a real thing for Mexican food these days. I really do.
That's why we have health issues. We're all diabetic and stuff. So that's why.
Like I always have a huge pack of burrito size flour tortillas. Always.
Oh yeah.
And I
That's
use them
what's
for
up.
everything. Like I don't use bread anymore. I like if I'm making a sandwich, it's a wrap in a flour tortilla. You know,
I'm
just
getting myself a large tortilla press for my birthday coming up.
oh nice, dude.
Wow. You're gonna make fresh tortillas. Damn, that's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the bad thing. Like when I do like I want to cut down on I gotta cut down on tortillas. I switch from flour tortillas to corn tortillas. They're slightly healthier.
Are they really?
Wait,
Well, yeah, because the other one's like flour and it has it's pretty much bread, like the flour ones, and the corn ones are supposedly healthier.
They have more
Um,
whole grain in it.
yeah, because they're corn, but they don't taste the same, and we use them for different things, type of thing. Like it's better to use one type of tortilla depending on the situation.
That makes sense.
Like if you're gonna have soup, better to have corn tortillas opposed to flour. If you're gonna make a taco out of anything, it's better to have it flour. If you're gonna make flautas, you need corn tortillas to toast them.
Interesting. See, my
that's
favorite
kinda
tortilla,
interesting.
my favorite tortilla chip is a small brand that I wasn't able to get in the Midwest, but I've always been able to get it in the Northwest, and it's called Juanita's. Juanita's tortilla chips, and I think the reason I like them so much is because they are a blend of corn and flour tortillas. So it's not a pure flour tortilla they're making chips out of, but it's not a pure corn tortilla like Doritos are pretty much pure corn tortilla chips. And I don't really care much for Doritos, which most people would look at me like I'm cross-eyed for saying that, but I don't like Doritos very much.
I love Doritos.
But I could eat Juanita's tortilla chips plain all day long and twice on Sunday.
Nice.
And throw in some good fresh salsa. Oh God, I'm done.
Yeah. We've been trying to find like alternatives, healthier alternatives, and they sell some here we have HEBs down here as grocery stores. They sell a pack of avocado based tortillas and chips and tostadas,
Oh wow.
and they're pretty good actually. So they're like corn with avocado stuff. I don't know what fiber. I don't know in it. So it's like 0 calories, 0 trans fat, 0 whatever. So they're healthier.
But avocados are almost pure fat.
But the good kind of fat, I don't know.
No, they are the good kind of fat. They're not
Yeah.
trans fat is basically like, I don't know, taking the trimmings off of a steak and just eating the fat. My understanding, at least, that's what trans fat really is. It's just
Yep.
that's why frying things in canola oil is better than lard, which
Oh yeah.
I know tortillas a lot. Traditional tortillas, my understanding is they are generally made with lard.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's what makes the flour ones way better because they're made with lard.
Yeah.
Like anything that has lard tastes way better.
Oh yeah. You're not cooking it right if you're not using lard or butter.
Yeah, man.
Mhm.
Like you guys heard of tamales, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Like-
yeah.
But so when people when my aunts and get together, my grandma they used to make tamales. They would say like, how much are you making of tortillas? I mean of tamales. I mean, and even tortillas too. They go by like well they're from Mexico, so they use like pounds, right? Or not pounds, kilos. But they say like 10 kilos. What they're referring to is how much lard they're gonna put in and make out of it,
Oh
not how
my
much
God.
yield that it's gonna weigh.
Oh my God.
And that's how that's measured. Yeah.
10 kilos of lard.
Yep.
I can feel the heart attack coming on already.
That's so good, man.
I know,
Holy
right?
moly. Oh, you ever had a dry tamal that
Alright.
that is like dry, not lardy, not dripping in sauce? They're not good.
All right,
Man,
Jordan.
somehow I'm
Have a
gonna
good
have to
night,
come
man.
down and see you.
But come on now, man. I'll show you where the good stuff is. Not in San Antonio. Let me just be super clear, and maybe Too Cool can back me up here. San Antonio, for whatever reason, does not have good Mexican food.
Well, Yotes
You need-
lives. We were talking about Arizona earlier. Yotes lives in Phoenix. He know. He's like, I just want my tortillas. Screw the health issues.
Yeah.
Jordan, if you missed it, I hope you're still around. But take care, bud. We will see you hopefully on Sunday, man. It's always good to
Hopefully
have
we'll
you
see
on
you
the stream.
Sunday.
Tanner, these guys know what's up. Lard's the best.
Yeah. Pineapple
Yeah.
salsa.
Tanner's
Oh.
a big dude. He's like 6'4", 300 pounds. He's a big guy. I'm a big freaking guy, and he made me feel small. Incredibly good natured too. But yeah.
It's life hog. Come down.
Life hawk.
Oh man, he
Some-
always likes. He
some-
always likes doing that.
somebody-
I was gonna say something. The pineapple salsa, man. I am a sucker for sweet and salty food, like mango salsa. What's that other stuff? My favorite is raspberry chipotle. Anything.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that.
I don't like the sweet mixes. I'm a
A lot of
very
people
savory.
don't actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a real odd sensitivity to sweetness. I don't like ketchup because it's too sweet.
Oh wow, ketchup is sweet.
Yeah, I mean, really, I'm not a fan of ketchup. Although I'll make an exception for jalapeno ketchup, but I find ketchup really sweet. And like peanuts and M&Ms, for example, that's fine because M&Ms actually aren't that sweet.
Right.
And the blandness plus the saltiness of the peanuts overpowers the sweetness of the M&Ms. But like a sweet and sour sauce at a Chinese restaurant or something, no. Don't want any part of it. It's nasty to me. I don't mix sweet well, and if something I expect something to be savory and it turns out sweet, then I'm just going to throw it away because I
Yeah,
don't like it.
a lot of people don't. They either I want it savory, or I want it sweet, but not mixed together. And for me, it's like I love it. Like
Yeah.
you guys ever try a Monte Cristo?
Yep.
The sandwich that's like
Covered in powdered sugar.
fried, and then you dip it in usually it's raspberry sauce. That's like the ultimate savory sweet like thing. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's like a deep fried ham and
don't
cheese
think I've
sandwich.
ever heard that.
It's a deep fried battered ham and cheese sandwich, and a lot of times when you get them, they'll be coated in powdered sugar. And then,
And a side of raspberry
yep,
jelly.
and a raspberry dip kind of thing. Yeah,
That
Yeah.
sounds heavenly.
no.
Sounds like a heart attack, but it's awesome.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Mocha fudge brownies
Oh, that'd be okay.
with bacon in them.
Nah, the whole bacon thing has jumped the freaking shark so bad.
They're also iced with mocha fudge ice, like a mocha fudge icing as well.
Leave the bacon out of it, and it sounds fantastic.
Ivansky, what's funny is I hate tomatoes and I love ketchup. It's like completely the opposite.
Now, I agree with you on that. I don't care for tomatoes either, raw tomatoes, but cooking into something edible, I'm all over it.
Yeah.
Like
I just
spaghetti
I don't like
sauce,
cooked tomatoes.
and I don't like raw tomatoes. So you
If
don't
they're
like
in
you don't like
some-
spaghetti or pizza?
No, I like that's good, but like I'm saying, like just cooked tomatoes by themselves, no.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
no, I'm not gonna eat tomato, just cooked tomato.
If I can taste the tomato, I don't like it. Like in a burger, it's very pronounced.
Right.
But in a salsa or pico de gallo, like bring it on, because you can. It mixes well with the other stuff, and you
Right.
don't really taste it.
Although since you mentioned that, there's another quirk of taste buds, and this is actually genetic. Cilantro. There are people genetically predisposed that when they eat cilantro, it tastes like soap. And I know this because I happen to be one of those people. Cilantro tastes like eating a bar of soap to me.
Wow. You know what? I've heard
Whoa.
other people say that too. That that it tastes different to them.
But no, look it up. I mean, it is literally a genetic thing.
Wow.
It's
That's cool.
not even a choice that you make. It's genetics determines how you taste cilantro.
Huh.
And to me, it tastes very soapy, like taking a bottle of dishwashing liquid off the counter and squirting it in my mouth.
Wow. Yeah, I know I've heard people say that they hate cilantro because it tastes weird, and I'm always like, cilantro kind of doesn't taste like anything. I personally love cilantro, not necessarily for the taste, for what it does. Like I love eating beans. Obviously, I have Mex in my name. I eat beans all the time. Some of us have. But it's true what they say. Beans produce gas. Well, one of the reasons that cilantro's in everything, bean related, is because the cilantro helps you not collect the gas. It helps you,
Oh, is that right? That's cool.
digest it. Yeah, all these leafy things help with that type of stuff, so you don't get bloated type of thing. So
Okay.
if you're eating beans without cilantro or bay leaves, stuff like that, it might cause you to get bloated and have gas and all sorts of stuff. But if there's a good amount of cilantro, probably not. You're gonna be fine, like nothing.
See, that's an interesting fact too, because so many recipes call for what's that other leafy green that has really no flavor, but people add it to freaking everything. It's an herb. I can't believe I can't think of this.
Oregano.
No. Um, It's sort of like a bland version of cilantro. I can't think of it though. Somebody's gonna tell me.
Lifehawk, where are you?
Yotes, I don't think the cilantro tasting like soap and the asparagus pea smell is quite the same, because asparagus just has that sulfuric component to it that if you eat enough of it, your pee will smell bad. Wow, this topic is taking a bit of a turn, but that's cool. Parsley, thank you, Lifehawk. Good parsley. Yeah, just parsley, but I would imagine parsley has a similar effect on gaseousness as your cilantro does.
Yeah,
So,
it's just that, you know, the taste of parsley, the taste of cilantro goes well with certain things, and that's why you use parsley with like this other stuff, and you use cilantro with this one, and rosemary with this other stuff.
right.
But they all kind of have the same effect. But if you don't have one of those, then you might get bloated. You might get like some other effect that, you know, that not having them, that
Right.
you won't get the benefits of having those types of leafy things.
Right. That's interesting. I never, I always considered flavors. I never considered the gastronomic effects of things like that.
Oh yeah,
But it makes complete sense.
yeah. I would recommend that, like, if you don't like one of those things, don't chop it up. Just have it whole, and as you cook it, and then when you're gonna eat it, just remove the whole thing.
Oh,
But
that
at
makes
least
sense.
the contents are there, but you won't have the thing there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah, that makes sense. Does that place that ships the frozen tamales, are their tamales good?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely good. They started in deep South Texas, like right at the tip of Texas, and they're perfectly shaped, perfectly filled, like if someone made them by hand. For a long time, the consensus is that they just hired a bunch of people, like a bunch of ladies, to make tamales, because usually when you buy from a store that has a machine that makes tamales, they're either too small or not filled, or they're overly bready. You know what I'm saying? That type of stuff. But
Yeah.
these are like good, man. Like they're like, for example, why make tamales? Let's just go buy them. And during like Christmas and, certain holidays, these places are shut down and they're only pickup, because you've had to have ordered them months in advance, and it's like a long line of just picking up um, your orders of tamales, like before Christmas or before New Year's or before Easter.
Oh
It's
wow.
crazy. Yeah, it's super crazy.
Hey.
And they have that frozen thing where you order them and they ship them out frozen to you.
Max, can you drop me the link for that site?
Sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can you send me the link to that too?
Absolutely. I'll put it on the public channel so everybody could get it on the Discord. So please join Harv's Discord to gain full access to, stuff and tamales.
And joining Discord is free, by the way.
It is free.
Tamales or not.
The tamales are not, but joining the Discord is.
The town that I've been working in recently has a shop that sells Cornish pasties. If you don't know what they are, they're basically it would be sort of a Cornish version of an empanada, or kind of a meat pie or a meat turnover.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. I've been dying to try one.
I have not gone there yet, but I plan to. And apparently, I'm going to try them. And if they're good, they sell them frozen too. So I might end up bringing a box or two home. I will relay that information when I find out for sure.
The link is on the pub chat. And there's a little link that says order online, and then you just, how many dozens? Oh, yeah, because they're sold by the dozen. By the way, that's how tamales should be sold. So if you go to a place that sells you tamales one by one, you're in the wrong place.
Why is that?
Well, tamales are like, should be, let's say, 3 to 5 inches, maybe, with maybe an inch in diameter. So why would you ever just eat one?
No,
Like
that's
it makes no sense to just eat one. It makes more sense to sell them by the dozen, because usually like either you eat at the dozen or you share them. But if you're, what I'm trying to say, if so, because they're so small, if they're gonna charge you like $2 for one, it's already too much.
Now, are these the same ones that are wrapped in corn husks?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Those are good.
Like the last time I had a tamale, it was like somebody selling them on the street, and they were selling them like 2 at a time.
At a time, were they big ones though?
Yeah, they were the big tamales.
Yeah, because these are like I would describe them as the typical northern Mexico, regular tamales. But there's ones called like the Veracruzano tamales, and those are wrapped in banana leaf husks.
Yep.
Oh wow.
And those are
Banana leaves.
huge. And
That's what they
sometimes,
were.
and
And they were
sometimes
sold
they have
2 at
like
a time.
and sometimes they have like a whole chicken leg in it, like with a bone. Like
Wow.
I've seen them like, or like a whole pig's foot in one. That type of stuff. They're crazy, but those are huge because they're banana leaf husks. These are corn leaf husks.
Wow.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that they have a lot of flavors and stuff. Like the pork mandatory classic tamales were made for pork. But there's also beef and there's also chicken, and if you don't like any of that, then there's beans, and there's chicken and cheese and all this. Like it just goes on and on and on and on and on.
Man.
But yeah, note, if you're ever gonna eat a tamal, please remove the husk.
Yeah, you're not
First.
supposed to eat that.
Yes. Also, it's a tamal, not a tamale in
Tamal.
Spanish. Like you
Okay.
you could say tamale. I'm okay with that. It's like a Spanglish vernacular. But if you say it in Spanish, a tamale, that's incorrect. It's a tamal.
Okay. Tamale.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get your frickin' tamales right.
It's a pet peeve of mine where people's like, oh, we're gonna eat some like make sure you grab your tamale and blah blah blah, and it's like, well, why are you saying it like that? If you're gonna say tamale, might as well just say tamale, like in English.
So, is it the same with cojones? Like cajones and cojones?
No, that one's right, cojones.
Okay. Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Tortillas and tortilla. You know what I'm saying?
It's raining, it's dark. I'm wearing sunglasses and cultivating a field.
Why are you wearing sunglasses in the dark?
It's a
It's cool, man.
play
Rock and
on
roll.
play on a stupid movie quote. And a song. I wear my sunglasses at night.
There you go.
I wear my sunglasses at night. Yeah. Thank you, 80s.
No cojones in my tamales. Actually, I think in parts of Mexico and other countries, the cojones of a bull, especially the ones that just fought or whatever, are like a super delicacy, sold for like thousands of dollars.
Well, they're like that in the States, too. They literally call them Rocky
Oh, really?
Mountain oyster, what is it? Rocky Mountain oysters. And there's whole
Yeah.
whole
Oyster.
festivals around Rocky Mountain oysters. Now, you
Nice.
can have every bit of my share.
No. Send those to Lifehawk.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll send all of my Rocky Mountain oysters to Lifehawk.
There you go.
I hear he's into that kind of thing. He's looking for anything that'll give him a testosterone boost.
That's what they say, right?
Oh, everything is an aphrodisiac. Eat raw oysters.
Yeah, seafood is. For sure. Crustacean stuff is.
Anything that has a high concentration of vitamin E actually could be considered. Vitamin E is like the whole thing they tell you if you need a boost.
What happens if the bull wins? That's the sad part. The bull never wins. So if the bullfighter loses or whatever, can't finish the job, they just get the next one up.
That's funny because my ex used to take me to rodeos from time to time, maybe 2 or 3 times I went. And I always told her, I'm just here to root for the animals.
Yeah, man. A lot of people do. And it's, to tell you the truth, it's the more exciting part. Like, it's bad, you know? It's a bad way of, I don't know how to say it. Like when you watch a racing thing, the exciting parts are with the crashes. Like, you kind of don't want to see it, but you kind of do. It's the same thing with
Right.
bullfighting. Like, you kind of want to see the bull win. Because the guy's an advantage. He has swords. He has sticks. You know.
I've never seen an actual bull fight. I'm just talking about like the
Like
bronco
tying?
busting and bull riding and that
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
those
thing.
are more civil. Yeah. The other one, they stick spikes on their back
Yeah.
to bleed them out and to weaken them. But once they're like at the end of it, they're pretty much weak. That's why they have to kill them. And I think the last thing is to kill them to not inject, but stick the sword down the front of it to kill them in one blow.
Oh, like hit the heart or something.
Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to do. Enchiladas. Yeah,
Restaurant in Phoenix that only makes enchiladas and soup.
enchiladas. Enchiladas are good.
Is chicken tortilla soup an actual Mexican recipe, or is that just some
That's some made up
Americanized?
nonsense.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. I have no idea what that means. I've tried it because they have it here. But
I mean, I like it. It's really, really good.
it's really good. Yeah, it's super awesome. It's like I love Taco Bell. I would
Oh.
never say that it's Mexican food, but I love the food there because it is what it is.
Oh, I hate
I-
Taco Bell. Like,
It's one of those places you either love it or hate it.
I like their nacho fries.
once I had real Mexican food, like Taco Bell, completely just is a disappointment.
But to me, it's like Taco Bell it's just Taco Bell. It's like a thing. It's not Mexican food. If I want Mexican food, I don't go there. Like I go to
Right.
get Mexican food because to me Taco Bell isn't Mexican food. It's just food.
Okay,
It's just made up stuff.
since we're on the topic of Mexican food, and it is a bit of a passion of mine. I don't know. I just really love a Mexican food these days, but I've been making my own refried beans for a long time, and I always do it in a crock pot. And I've got a recipe, and I personally love them. But is there any kind of tradition or anything like that that goes along with refried beans? Like, is there something that, because you've been talking a lot about how, if it's not this way, it's not traditional, or if it's not, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, refried beans, I know refried is really kind of a misnomer. It's not like the beans were ever fried to begin with, so.
Right. Nah, nothing special. Like you boil them and you put some salt in the water to give it a little bit of a flavor. If you want to throw one of those bay leaves in there at the time of boil, that might help. The only
Yeah.
thing I would say is when you refry them, just put a lot of butter.
So,
a lot of butter. Also, have you tried chorizo, Harv?
yeah, but I like Spanish chorizo a lot more than Mexican chorizo. And
Well,
my distinction in that is that it's smoked into links as opposed to fresh.
oh, okay. The one that crumbles, you mean, is the Mexican one?
Yeah, there's a
Well,
Basque or Spanish version that I find a lot that I prefer. They're links as opposed to
yeah.
a fresh crumbly kind.
Well, the crumbly kind, if you mix it in as you fry your beans, you get refried beans with chorizo, like chorizo refried beans,
Okay,
and I highly recommend that. And with some tortillas de harina, that's there you go, dude.
nice.
Meal within itself.
There you go. I mean, for me, it's because I'll dice up a jalapeno and some garlic and other seasonings put in with the beans in a crock pot with lots and lots of water or chicken broth. And,
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of recipe that I'm using for refried beans. And it makes enough that I can freeze a bunch and just keep using them over and over again.
That's what we do. My wife boils a bunch of them and then just separates them in like a good amount in Ziploc bags, the gallon ones, and then
Mm-hmm.
just freezes them.
Right, right. Okay.
Does anybody can anymore? Or does everybody just freeze stuff nowadays?
A lot of people still can. The same lady I was telling you about who is the beekeeper. She does a lot of canning. My aunt and my cousin's significant other cans dozens, if not hundreds, of quarts every fall. I think we got a pretty good start on this map. What do you think, Caveman?
I think we got a decent one.
And as odd as it may sound, we've been at this for 3.5 hours. I don't know why, but Friday night impromptus, maybe it's the booze. But it always seems to go a lot faster for me than some other streams. I think we're going to call it a night, guys. It's getting late. Parents, do you know where your children are? They're probably playing farm sim with Harv. Anyway, guys, you have any parting thoughts or words?
Hopefully, we'll see you Sunday.
If
Yep.
you're going to do anything, make it worth your time.
Yeah, it was a
There you
blast. Thank you for having us, Harv, and for everybody for joining us. Love the participation.
Yeah, me too. Good conversation tonight, guys. I really appreciate you jumping in and sharing your time with us. Anyway, everybody, I think that's going to do it for the Friday night impromptu stream. And as always, we very much appreciate you coming along for the ride. And until next time, take care.
See y'all later.
That way.
I'm gonna have to rethink the layout to either remove stuff and add it later, or